Welcome back, guys. I'm really excited. We have another great guest on today. She is a former McDonald's employee who became a playmate, who then became one of the top OnlyFans producers in the entire world. She's a former Michigan State Spartan, and she's one of the best storytellers I've ever heard. And I'm really happy to have her on the show. This is Miss Amanda Nicole. Amanda, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited.
I am excited. So several times in the, I think probably 7 years I've known you, you end up holding court and telling stories about something that's happened to you. And it's just like, it's enthralling. And there's always somebody sliding in the DM or some crazy stuff like that. And we had dinner the other night for a friend of ours' birthday. And I was listening to you. I was like, yes, I remember. I need to have Amanda on here. So this is great that we get you on.
You need to write a book that's like Diary of an Insta Hoe or something.
Beautiful.
Like a retired one. I'm like a good girl now, but back in the day I was savage.
You are. You definitely told me some of these stories. All right. So originally you're from Georgia, but you were a military brat?
Yeah, so my dad was in the Army, and so I moved every 3 years. I mainly lived like down south, like North Carolina and Georgia and Missouri.
These were Army bases?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I even lived in Italy on an Army base for like 5 years.
Was it Aviano? Oh, no, Fort Kirby?
Vicenza.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved to Illinois. I went to high school in Georgia, and then I went to college in Michigan. And then I ended up marrying my first husband.
Okay, hold on, time. We'll get to that in a second. First off, I want to say, what was your favorite place to live?
I liked Georgia a lot.
You did?
I'm actually pretty excited. I'm going to my high school reunion soon, so.
So I lived in Warner Robins for 3 years, and I used to go to Atlanta every weekend because I was stationed at Robins. So it's interesting. There's a lot of Army bases there. And then before we get to this, you worked at McDonald's the summer after you graduated from high school, right?
Yes.
And the year you were in Michigan.
Yes.
And you decided to go to MSU. This is a reason. Were you a Spartans fan? Why did you decide to go there?
So I was actually like a pretty big nerd in high school. Like I studied really hard. I went to like all the AP classes. I even did community service just for fun because I wanted to get into a really good college.
Right.
I wanted to be like president one day.
Yes, and listen, that's still a possibility.
I know. I think Kim Kardashian's paving the way right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I was like wanting to do all that. I was a really overachiever. I moved to Michigan my senior year of high school, and I knew I wanted to go to a good school, but I also didn't want to like break the bank.
Yeah.
And I still wanted to be somewhat close to family, but not like too close. So Michigan State was the only one I like toured and applied to. Like that was just the one I wanted to go to.
Beautiful.
And so it was like well enough known and because a good education, but it wasn't like as expensive or boring as like Michigan.
Did you go to any football or basketball games while you were there?
Yeah, so my dorm room was right across the street from the stadium.
Yeah.
So like you could hear them from my room, and at any game I could go to, I would go to, but it was very cold a lot, and I also had like a lot of schoolwork, and I like worked all the time.
Beautiful. Okay, now let's go here. Before you go to school, you start working at McDonald's, and you marry a guy you are working at McDonald's with. Is that correct?
Yeah. So even so in high school I was a dork and I was a late bloomer. I like didn't hit puberty till I was like 17, didn't lose my virginity till then. But once I did, I was like obsessed. Like I needed to get laid like all the time. My senior year boyfriend even broke up with me because he's like, I don't want to remember my senior year just for having sex all the time. And I was only dating him because his parents.
What is this loser doing now? I'm just curious. Oh, so my bad.
In my
going.
DMs.
Yeah.
But no, his parents had given him like full access to several vehicles that were big enough to fuck in. So that's the only reason why I was dating him. So when I graduated high school or whatever, it was the summer before college, and I was just looking for some convenient dick. I'm a horny teenager. I know I'm about to go to college. I'm a while out. In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna be such a fucking crazy bitch in high school. I'm not allowed to say this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be such a crazy like college girl. I'm gonna go so wild. And I work at McDonald's, and God did this for a reason because he was like, that would have been bad for me. But he has me like catch this crush for like a manager that I work with. And I'm kind of aggressive, so I like start hanging out with him. I start dating him, and then it's like a summer fling.
Yeah.
And then I try and dump him at the end of the summer because I'm like, I'm going to college, I'm going away, like I'm too young, you know. And he convinces me, like, you know, just try the long distance, just try, like, you know, and then if it just doesn't work or you want to do something or you want to be free, like, just break up with me then. And I was like, okay. So I go to college and I'm working so much and school is so hard. I'm not partying, I'm not going out. And I did really, like, love him a lot. So it actually worked out good, the long distance, like seeing on weekends or whatever, we would make it work. And I fell in love. I'm such a romantic. I was just down for him and I was like, okay, good. Well, at least we're getting good grades in college. Like now we just have our one boyfriend. And he ended up my second year moving to my city.
Yeah.
And like we lived together and we were just going to live together. But I had a hard time my third year getting financial aid for school because my parents made well enough money.
Right.
But like they didn't help me or anything. I was just on my own, which is just fine. There's just different kind of people that like you're kind of on your own.
Yeah.
So like they won't even like co-sign for like a student loan and I can't get like grants or aid for school. So they tell me, they're like, you know, if you claimed like independent or if you could break free of like your dependency on your parents, like tax wise or whatever, you could get financial aid and you can keep going to school. And my boyfriend I lived with he was joining the military so he could pay for his school. And so he'll make more money if he's married.
Yes.
And I'll be able to get financial aid and keep going to school. And we did love each other like deeply.
Yeah.
So we just like rush ahead and I get married at 20, like, you know, because we're in love and like it's just better financially for us to chase our dreams.
Yeah.
And then, so he gets married, joins the military, or we get married. He joins the military, he goes off to training. I'm still in school. I think my last year, he got stationed in California after he's done with all his training. I took so many like advanced classes and I got so many classes done while I was there that my last like semester I was able to move to California and like finish online and be with him. And I worked full time doing real estate in LA and being full time like wifey as well while finishing the school. And yeah. And then there just that happened. I was married for like 4 years.
Yeah.
We were together. Eventually with time though, I know this about myself. I grow and mature and change so fast that a lot of times like men like can't keep up, unfortunately. So I like started to grow up and become an adult. I'm not like that 20-year-old baby that doesn't, my like frontal lobe has developed.
Right, yeah.
So I start to become more mature and adult, and things with him, like we grow apart, you know, unfortunately, because that's what happens when you get married young. Don't get married at 20. Your frontal lobe does not develop till you're 25. You are not who you are yet. PSA. But we actually ended amicably and everything, and we stayed friends. We even stayed married legally on paper for like health insurance reasons for a while. We stayed cool. But then you have me on the streets of LA.
Right. You're out here in these streets again, okay?
I'm now in adult mode. I've been sheltered most of my life. I didn't get to do my young, crazy college days. So I'm definitely not getting in another long-term relationship anytime soon. So
wait, now have you finished at Michigan State at this point? Mm-hmm. What was your degree in?
I did a double in criminal justice and international relations.
Awesome. Did you try to get a graduate degree?
I was going to go to law school. I wanted to, but I ended up, I don't know, getting caught up in life.
Yeah, life does that, man. It catches you up.
You know, I was really tired. I think I worked way too much. Like when I was in college, I usually had like 3 jobs. And again, I was like taking care of a man, like being wifey. Like I was just burnt out. Like after I finished my degree, I was like, I need to have a little fun for myself. So
now you are divorced. You're back out on the streets. It's fucking. You're living in Los Angeles. You're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So I'm really good at sales, and I made a lot of money with commission. So I was really happy, like doing pretty well. I was always flat chested growing up. Like I started wearing padded bras in 4th grade after watching like the Victoria's Secret shows and stuff. I always wanted big boobs. And my mom was flat chested till she had a baby. So I just told myself, I'm like, if I wait, like I'll get boobs when I have a baby. Like, and I'm married, so like I'll have a baby soon probably.
Yeah.
And so when I got divorced, I was like, okay, so I was like, we're not gonna have a baby anytime soon. We should just go buy some boobies. So made an appointment with a doctor, bought my boobies. I also, at the time being single and dating, I started to like learn more and watch YouTube videos on makeup and like how to present myself better.
Yeah.
Also in sales, it's better to be more presentable. So I was getting really into and intrigued by the beauty influencers.
So at this point, you're looking at makeup tutorials. You went and got a boob job. There's no intention of even getting on Instagram or becoming.
So the makeup tutorials on YouTube and stuff make me get an Instagram just so I can follow makeup beauty influencers, so I can learn how to make myself look more presentable and to do a better job. So, and also I'm just like a nerd, so I have to study. So I was like, okay, like I've learned a lot of different traits and things and how to do these things. I'm like, I haven't mastered being hot. I was like, let me study this. So I like would sit there for hours and study, like, how do I get my eyebrows to look like I want? Like, how do I want to get my hair? Like, so I studied it, like, because I was not naturally gifted in any of those areas. So I'm following beauty influencers and things like that, and went on Instagram, and then I see like the big boobs, and it just drives me crazy. So
yeah,
I had to go buy boobies.
Where did you go?
Just a doctor in Oxnard, California.
Okay, all right, got it.
He's really smart. He's very sweet. He's done a couple things for me.
Okay, beautiful.
But yeah. So then I got my boobies, and I was like, ooh, it's time. And I was like, this back in the day, this was when Tinder was at its prime.
Right.
I was like, ooh, like, let's go get some life experience.
Okay, so you've had plastic surgery. You go get on Tinder, and what is your experience like there when it first starts?
So I was still chubby. So I was a little thick thing.
So we should talk about this. You lost 60 pounds. How did that happen?
Yeah. So I in Michigan is very cold. I was like always kind of fit and small. And then Michigan and college and working, like it's very cold. You can't be active. Like I'm just working, sitting, studying all the time and just eating. So I don't even have time to go to the gym. And I didn't even probably know how to work out properly at all either. I had studied and learned that as well. But so I gained a lot of weight. So I gained I was like 200 pounds. Like when I show my old pictures, people are just like stunned. They just don't believe it. They don't believe my nerdy braces, McDonald's skinny stick pics, and then they don't believe my like college pics look like I ate that girl. So I was kind of thicker. So again, the divorce and the beauty influencers and stuff, I hire a personal trainer because again, I'm a nerd. I study. I don't know, so I trust people to teach me.
Right.
And I'll like learn. So I hire a personal trainer to teach me like 3 times a week, like how to work out, how to be, like gives me tips. He lets me know that you're not supposed to eat ice cream 3 times a day. And like you're not supposed to have dessert with every meal, which I did not know.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I changed my lifestyle, and I was also more active because I'm in LA. It's sunny, and I'm in the streets, so so I'm able to like lose like 60 pounds pretty quickly. But I was like thicker when I first started my like dating Tinder journey. So I was not looking for anything serious, and I was still young. I was like 23, 24. So like I gave no fucks. So I was that kind of slutty fresh boob job girl on Tinder that was like, just send me a dick pic on Snapchat. Let's go. Like, you know, and
okay, now this is hold on, we gotta stop here. So you are telling dudes on Tinder to send you dick pics?
I'm telling them to add my Snapchat, and like, and this is how I first like blew up kind of was Snapchat in LA. I had my Snapchat on my Tinder. I would talk to anyone and anyone, like everyone who messaged me. Like I wasn't like, I didn't see them or like get with them, but I would talk, I would flirt, I would send hella free nudes and like twerking videos back in the day. There was no OnlyFans yet either. So the people were just
you were practicing.
People were just like, wow, this girl's just out here being her.
All right, so you're getting dick pics all the time. What is this like? Are you like, yes, no? Are you rating them like what people are doing now?
I loved it. I loved it so much. I would be, and it became so, my Snapchat became famous because I'm doing all this shit for free. Like some girls are having premium Snapchats and I'm just like needing attention.
Yeah.
And being thirsty. I'm not proud of this, and I'm very different than this now, kind of.
I think you should be proud of the fact that you're owning this. I think it's awesome.
I'm more selective. I am aware. Like, I was so dumb back then. I meet girls that are like me back then, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, you're a red flag. But I was a red flag. And, yeah, no, and I probably was a little bit of a sex addict as well.
Right.
So...
Well, hold on. So the dudes are sending you dick pics. Did you ever meet up with any of the dudes who sent you the pics?
Yeah, a lot. I've had some interesting stories.
So like, what happened? Okay, come on, man. Now, come on, Amanda. So like, what happened? So you had a situation where you're 23, you're living in Los Angeles, you're selling real estate, you're asking dudes for dick pics on Tinder, they're sending you dick pics, and then you're
not just dick pics, like muscles.
Muscles too. So you're going, you swipe, you check, and you're like, oh, I like him. And then what happens? You're like, oh, let's meet up. Like, how does this work?
I'm trying to remember.
This is old dumb Amanda. This is not today Amanda.
I know.
This is not today
I'm trying
Amanda.
to remember. So like I just remember one instance because it was probably like my favorite. It had been a while. I was on a good girl streak for a little bit. I had liked someone a little bit, and so when I do like someone, I'm very like loyal about them, and I like turn it off. And I had liked someone a little bit. I had like quit the game. I was like, and it ended or whatever because I was a mess, but and embarrassing. But what was I gonna say? So I was really thirsty. I was like very needy. I needed some affection.
Okay.
I needed some attention. It was really late at night, so I go on my Snapchat story and I'm like, "Yo, boys, send me the pics." Not the dick pics, but send me some muscles, send me some of your face. I mean, if your dick's in it, great. Just send pics. I'm like, send applications. Like, let's go. And a guy sends, I see a couple. And at this time, I had a type. My type at the time was like Clark Kent lookalike.
Okay.
I like a whole like wide range of buffet now. But at then I had a type. And so I get a guy that's my type-ish, but he's like almost there, but not it. And I'm like, maybe. And then he's like, well, what about this guy? And he sends me another picture. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Okay, like, wait, hold on. This is a story you told me in Miami, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I was dumbfounded. So there's a guy, he sends you a picture of his body, the whole thing, and then he sends you a picture of it. That was his roommate.
Yes. So he sends a picture, and I'm like, who's that? And he's like, that's my roommate. And I was like, oh, well, tell him to add my Snapchat. I was like, let's go. And he's like, well, what about, like, the both of us? And I was like, I was like, this could be interesting. And I was like, have y'all ever done that before? Like, are you comfortable with that? And they're like, yeah, no, we're cool like that. We're like brothers. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I was like, they lived, and I was like, where are you at? And they're like, all the way in Santa Monica. They're like a whole hour from me. And I was like, oh, well, it's getting kind of late because I've been going through applications at this point. And I'm like, you know what? I'm losing the drive. I'm just going to go to sleep, masturbate. And he goes, we can both get in the car right now and drive there. And I was like, if you can be here, like, right now, like, you drive straight here, like, you're ready to go. Like, let's do this.
Can you, okay, so for the gentlemen who are watching this right now, can you imagine that car ride? Can you imagine, like, it's you and your buddy, your roommate, and you guys know this girl's like, yeah, you want to come. Like, have you guys ever done this together? Like, what's that car ride like? Who picks the music? You know what I'm saying? Is there fist bumping going on? What is that like? That's what I'm wondering.
I've never even thought about that car ride for them. I was just like very nervous.
Yeah, bro, we're going to go do this, bro.
I was so excited because I like fantasize and I love the idea of like two guys. Like that's my.
So this is your first doubles threesome.
Yeah, it's my like, it's the thing I like masturbate to. You know, it's the thing I like to think about. I low key like the idea of two guys being jealous, fighting, but still sharing me. So that's like the whole idea behind it. But anyways, I'm nervous. I'm freaking out. I'm like, yo, this might be like above what I'm ready for. And they end up showing up pretty fast. I open the door. And they are like excited puppies. They're just like ready. They're and I'm like, hi guys, like come in. I still like to get to know a little bit and like take my time. I like a little flirt. I like sit on the couch. I get like wine. I put on music. I have all the candles like ready. Like I have a mood going on. And I'm like trying to talk to them and like get to know them. And they just like do not care. They know what they're here to do. They do not care to talk to me. They both just start. Like, they have, like, a routine. That's probably what their car ride conversation was. Like, how are we going to do this? Who goes first?
You take the right boob. Is that what he said?
Yeah, I think it was coordinated. It was so well done. So well done. 5 stars on Yelp for them. But,
well, it's funny because we got them coming in right now. Come on in, gentlemen.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you. There's a funny twist to the end. I'm going to tell you. But, so I'm having the experience. It's great. The better looking roommate, obviously, like he ends up having the nicer dick. So it's 2 different experiences for sure on the ends. But they're both so funny. Like every time they switch or something, they keep talking about like how great like everything feels. And I'm like, I'm getting like Yelp reviewed while they're doing it. They're like, yo, her like head game though. And they're like, bro, this pussy though, you know? And I'm like, jeez.
They're getting Yelp reviews. Can you imagine
They're
that?
going back and forth and like and then anyways it ends. And it's really cool.
5
we have like
stars,
good
baby.
vibes. Like it's like really like friendly, like conversation. Like they're like talking about wanting to see me out another time or whatever, maybe. I don't know. And I'm just like stunned. I'm like in disbelief that everything just happened and that I did that. I was like, this is a new level.
Okay, so now my question would be, do you recommend? Like, was this something you...
Yes.
Okay.
5 stars.
Okay, got it.
Okay, but there's a downfall. Okay, so this is when I had my intervention hoe moment for sure.
Okay.
Because I was sitting there and I was like, man, that's wild. I can't believe I just did that. But it was like kind of awesome. And they leave and they go home back to Santa Monica, right? And the next day, I get a snap from this guy like I super was attracted to and liked and had messed around with a bit, and literally looks like Henry Cavill's twin, like with like the best dick. And I like super crushed on him, right? He sends me a snap at the gym with like 2 guys, like it looks like a gym selfie, like bros. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. He sent me like a gym snap. And then I like replayed it and it says like Eskimo Brothers.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, wait. And I look at the picture and I look at the 2 other Superman lookalikes with him. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, he knows these guys. And he goes, funny story. I'm at the gym here in Santa Monica with my 2 homies. And they're going on and on about this amazing, awesome 3-way they had last night. And when they go to show me the girl's Instagram, he's like, it's so funny that it's you. And I'm like, I need to move.
Oh my God.
I'm like, they live an hour away too. Like, how is this possible that they know each other?
So you were seeing this other guy too?
Yes.
Had you hooked up with this guy?
Yes.
You had hooked up with him?
Yeah. And then you know what's so funny?
Because if you hadn't hooked up with him, that would be the fucking worst.
No, I had.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, I was always just a very honest person.
Yes.
So like I was kind of ratchet, but I was always really honest with all these men. It was always, you knew what you were getting. You knew like I was easy, but I was going to be easy. I was going to be chill. I was going to be cool. Like, you know, so I was just very honest and open. And so this guy like knew like I was for the streets a little bit. So, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I just gotta be honest. I gotta own up. I'm like, yeah, like I did that. Like, you know? And he goes, I heard you didn't enjoy one of them as much as the other. And I was like, yeah, no, like the little dick one can let go. And I was like, but the other one I liked. And he's like, oh, me and him will have to come over sometime.
God damn. Oh my God.
I was like, best case.
Oh my God, man. You never told me that part. So did that ever happen?
I know. No, it didn't. I was very embarrassed and ashamed. A little part of me was like, oh, I don't want to be this girl. But,
man, oh man. That's crazy.
I was like, man, I must have some good pussy for them to be like.
I must be closed-minded, man, because I could never do that. But when I listen to these stories, it's just so fascinating to me, man, that kind of thing happened. They just driving an hour with your buddy to go do that. Just like, wow, I just can't even imagine this. So anyway, that's crazy. This is happening on Tinder. You're getting a bunch of, because you had told me that story before, which was freaking crazy. Wasn't there another one where you went on a date with two guys and they were also roommates?
Oh yeah, so that one wasn't a Tinder story, but I decided after that I should probably branch out. That like I was getting way too recognized in LA. Still, when I go to LA, I am recognized for that old Snapchat, which you know, I literally would film sometimes my Snapchat like hooking up with these guys.
Okay,
these Tinder guys.
You could do that back then.
Yeah, you could, and no, like they weren't as strict, and it was like, free.
Yeah, you could. I remember on Snapchat, girls sending me crazy shit, and I was like, that would get them banned on Instagram.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, but I was just wilding out and fuck.
Yeah.
So my Snapchat was very popular and crazy, and I remember I didn't have my Instagram linked to Snapchat because my Snapchat was so embarrassing to me. Kind of, I knew it was ratchet, and when I decided to hang up my Snapchat and be like, I can't be on this anymore. I'm gonna be a good girl. Like I need to be normal. I need to like chill out. And I like finally posted what my Instagram was on my Snapchat, and I had no idea. I didn't pay attention to Snap scores or like views or nothing. Again, it was like all just for fun for me. And when I finally posted what my Instagram was on my Snapchat, my Instagram following went insane.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea the amount of people that followed my Snapchat that were like diehards.
And so this is the first time you could see it.
Yeah, this is the first time I could like tell what number. Like it was in the like 20,000.
Yeah.
In the first day, I was like, what?
Wow.
And so it's all of LA. It's all from Tinder. But so anyways, I decide, I'm like, you know, we're going to be a good girl. We're going to chill out a little bit. And I end up like, I just want to have more fun. I have more life experiences. I was also starting to get more into Instagram, and I started doing like photo shoots. So at the same time, I'm like getting into modeling and stuff like that because I'm already being ratchet and stuff. And photographers are hitting me up because they probably follow my Snapchat or find me on Tinder or something, and they're hitting me up, and I'm like, you know what? And I still have a full-time job at this time. So photographers are hitting me up, and I was like, cool. Like, if I got good pictures, like my Tinder would do really well.
Again, this is like you right now. You have like 8 million followers on Instagram, and you're at this point you're taking pictures for Tinder.
Yeah,
like, you're not even concerned about.
Yeah, not like my Instagram has like 200 followers at this point, and right before I started like posting on Snapchat, like what it was, and then it blew up. But so I started doing these photo shoots. And I get really into them. I started feeling like really creative, and I like feel really sexy. It's very empowering, and the photo shoots almost give me the same feeling as sex or like hooking up. So I'm like, wow, I'm actually pretty passionate about this. Like I really like creating these sexy images and stuff. Just for myself, like even the act of me like looking at them. So I was like, cool, like I love this. So I'm spending less days on Tinder, more days like doing actual photo shoots.
Yeah.
And I start to like really get popular for my photo shoots because I'm passionate about it. I'm doing well. I'm like shooting a lot. So this is at the time where influencers were emerging, and you were understanding that it was like a big deal to like get all those followers, there wasn't OnlyFans yet, but like these photographers were understanding that they could get like hired by girls if they shot really good or they got like clout.
Yeah.
So the content I was putting out and the work I was putting out was impressive enough to where like photographers really wanted me for their like portfolio or something, you know? So I still worked. I only had 2 days off a week. So I was booking photo shoots and stuff like for fun, for free, like just for myself on those 2 days. And then photographers kept hitting me up and I had to have like a little wait list or to do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like I have a job, I have to work. Like I can't only have 2 days off. Like, and like I promised all these other photographers I'll shoot. And they're like, oh, well, I'll pay you to shoot. And I was like, oh, pay me to model? I was like, that's cool. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll get money on my day off. And then I started booking so many like shoots and actually getting paid to do photo shoots that I was like, yo, why am I like working? I'm making more money on my 2 days off, like doing photo shoots, something I actually really like.
Yeah.
So I as I'm doing that, I'm like growing in the Instagram world and stuff. And then it's like giving me all the like attention I need, so I'm able to quit the streets life a little bit,
right,
tad bit. And then, so anyways, the streets in LA, I'm too popular, I'm too well known, so, and I like work too much there too. So like when I want to get away and I want to like hook up with guys, I would come to Vegas.
Okay, you come visit here.
I come visit here.
The fuckboys here didn't know about the same fuckboys.
No, none of them. I could play totally different out here.
Different games.
Different game.
Right.
So, and also I would have a lot of fun. I started like making a lot of connections. I think my first night, so actually, I saved up while I was working to get a BBL. I got a BBL, and then I quit my job.
So can you explain to people that? Because that is like a big thing. I had Dr. Buss on here, he's an evolutionary psychologist, and we were talking about plastic surgery. He wasn't even aware what a BBL was. Right?
So it's a Brazilian butt lift, and it's when they use liposuction to suck out the fat and the fat cells themselves and put them in areas that you want fat to be. That fat is like liquid gold. You don't want to waste it. So I was losing so much weight, working out, being very active, getting really passionate about my shoots and my body and my look. But I, being thicker before, have always loved my thick thighs and my butt. So in order for me to like get a skinny waist or tiny, like to get abs, you would need to work out a lot and diet.
Lose your butt.
And diet. And you can get your butt muscle back by working out, but it's like a different kind of butt.
Yeah.
And I, being an ex-fat girl, loved my fat ass and thighs, the jiggly cellulite. Like I loved it. Every guy that I am attracted to is into that. So I'm like getting really nervous. Like I'm getting too skinny. I'm getting too like fit. And I'm like, I only have a little bit of tough fat like stuck in my like belly region. That's the last to go, you know? So I was like, I gotta use this. I gotta put it in my butt before it's gone, because then I won't have it. And then if you don't have the fat, then you have to do things like implants or silicone injections.
Well, some girls actually put on weight before they get the BBL.
Yeah.
Doctors ask them to do that. And the other thing is, it's your fat cells, so it's still your DNA. It's just in a different part of your body, and so it will fuse. Now, sometimes it won't, but a lot of times, like some girls will get the BBL and then it'll go away. Like their bodies will burn the fat.
You have to keep eating to keep it, and then make it grow. You can make it grow too by like eating. I eat. So I was told, my trainer is like, you can either like work out really hard and then you can get a lot of muscle, you have a muscle butt, or he's like, you can gain a lot of weight, eat a lot of pasta, and get a BBL. I was like, BBL, it is.
Seems a lot more fun, yeah.
I was like, that sounds fun. And it's going to be squishy and jiggly and fat. Like I like, because I always liked my lower body being bigger.
Yeah.
So, so I get a BBL, I save up. The BBL, the first round, I feel like is always such a long recovery process. People don't understand, like, it's not just the money to get the BBL and the pain of the like couple days after when you're black and blue all over your body and swollen. You cannot sit for like 3 months.
You can't sleep on your back either. You got to sleep.
Yeah, you have to sleep on your front, or else the fat cells will die and you'll waste everything. You cannot sit. So, and I swelled. This is before they had drains and lymphatic massages. So I swelled really bad. I was swollen in my like girdle thing for 3 months, looking absolutely disgusting. Like didn't leave my house. I had my groceries delivered. I had I just watched Netflix on my stomach all day, every day for 3 months while I healed. And so I couldn't work my real estate job because a lot of it is sitting in an office, like doing stuff, and I can't sit. And I was like, I'm doing this and I'm going full force into modeling. Like I'm going to make this a career. Like
right.
I'm good at it. We're going to do it. So as soon as I heal the 3 months, I take my whole savings and I studied, again, a nerd, I studied every photographer that was big in every city that shoots the biggest models. And they didn't know who I was yet. They hadn't seen what my new body looked like either. And I hired them all. And I planned like this trip throughout the United States, Atlanta, Miami, I went to Toronto, like Vegas. I planned and I booked like the biggest photographers. All I did was fly, land, shoot, fly, land, shoot, fly, land, shoot. And then occasionally I have like Tinder guys bring me McDonald's to my hotel room after.
You work really hard. Like I'll say this, like you come to almost every shoot I invite you to. There's a lot of girls who are like wallflowers that they I don't know who to shoot with. That is never a fucking problem for you. You will go right up to the dudes and like it makes a lot more sense to me. You treated this like a job because you could see the actual return for every single thing you were doing. And so this wasn't even a business for you. I mean, now it is, but this wasn't even a business for you. But I could see like the focus that you have is like, I'm going to shoot in every one of these places, whether with other people, they're like trying to finagle a free shoot. You're like, I'm going to travel the country. I'm going to get the best photographers to shoot me. I'm going to pay them. There's no, because you know this is going to help you. And then you just go off and do that and you just work your ass off for several weeks. And you're right, McDonald's is addictive. I had an ex who ate that shit and I can't, every once in a while, whenever I feel lazy, I just go eat there. So I'm with you.
So I landed and I shot with everybody and I'm like studying every photographer, everything they do, every pose they put me in. I'm like listening to everything they say, everything they do, how they edited me, like how everything, so I could like get good at it. My last stop was Las Vegas on the way back. So I stopped in Las Vegas, and this is when I like fell in love with Las Vegas. It was my first time there. And this was the end of my trip, so I was like, you know what, I am gonna go out a little bit. I am gonna have some fun. I go out, I end up in Little John's DJ booth, like my first night out.
This is at Hayes or at
Hakkasan.
Hakkasan, okay.
Yeah, at Hakkasan. And I end up meeting like the VIP liaison director in there. Shout out if you're watching. I end up meeting him in there, and he's like very well connected to everything in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is your first night in Vegas. Like, you need to go out. I'm this IG wannabe model, like from the streets, you know, fresh BBL, ready to go, like party. So he's like, oh, like I got clubs, I got DJ booths for you, like let's go. Like, and so he hooks it up for me. Like the rest of the couple days I'm there, I'm like going clubbing all night, drinking shots with Little John, and then who's nice and married, I think. I didn't, nothing but shots in the DJ. But I would come back and I would get like an hour of sleep and then do a photo shoot at 8 a.m. And they'd be like, what's your concept for the shoot? And I'm like, like room service.
Hungover. I wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I'm drinking like coffee and eating waffles. Let's just put the waffles on my butt and like, and then I'm like taking bites of waffles like in between, like trying to wake up. Those went viral, by the way. My waffle butt pics back then went viral. It was genius. Anyways, I fell in love with Vegas because I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like, I'm getting treated so well, like, in the DJ booth. I think, like, the next night, he had, like, set me up in, like, Calvin Harris's DJ booth.
Okay.
Who sends dick pics as well.
Calvin Harris sends dick pics to you?
I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay. You just heard that something like that.
I heard it somewhere.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I feel you.
Anyways, what was I gonna say?
All right, so all right, so now so here's the thing: we're transitioning to something a lot of us know well here, which is the Vegas life, where for other people, that night in the DJ booth is the greatest night of their life. It is their bachelorette party. It is the one time when they saved up enough money to do the $2,000 minimum or whatever. But you live here, or you're coming here more frequently, and you as a pretty girl, it's like every night you go out. Every night you're standing right next to Little John or Calvin Harris or whomever. And so now you're getting into it. And like for me, that's one of the draws here. I don't, it's not that I just need to go to nightclubs all the time. It's just when I go to nightclubs, I'd like to be in the DJ booth with a huge DJ, with the crowd around me, and then be back in my apartment in 12 minutes. Yeah. That's why I like living here.
Yeah.
And so you were starting to feel that. That's what kind of drawing to it.
I was starting to feel this, and it was so fun. And also every time I was out or at a day club or anything, I was meeting the Vegas guys. Now,
describe the Vegas guys. How are they different from the LA guys? This is a big discussion we have on this program.
They are so different. Okay, so in Los Angeles, it is a very populated city. There are a lot of pretty girls. In LA, you have a lot of men who have good jobs or good careers for going for themselves. They are usually very focused on themselves and their happiness and their dog, and they love to fuck a model every once in a while and never talk to them again. That is LA, and that is the life for a man, if you're like that. In Vegas, the population, it's a very small town. If you're local, everyone knows everyone.
That is the truth.
Everyone knows everyone. And so dating in Las Vegas is very strange because you have to, have leftovers of other people because it is a small town locally. And the men who live here and work here, it is a travel service city. So they're the bottle guys or bussers or bartenders or the review dancers, the strippers, like they're in the service industry or and things like that, and they are very well groomed and very good looking because they're paid a lot to do these service industry jobs, and they have to like basically audition and are hired on their headshots sometimes. So these guys are, how do I say, like not the most like educated or like businessy kind of guys, but they're very good looking, and they crave like relationships or things like that because the population is so small.
Yeah.
And even the population is full of like hot Vegas girls, but Vegas girls are usually like baddies, showgirls, or strippers with hella money at their exposure.
Yeah.
And the Vegas girls are like the LA men. They're on their grind. They care about their money. They'll let a pretty boy come over and fuck them. And they're like, bye, thanks. Like, I gotta go to work. That was nice. So it's almost opposite. So the guys are like relationship hungry here. So when I would come here, I would be like, oh, these guys are like simpy. I was like, I love it.
I'm embarrassed to say that all of this is true, and I've never heard anybody describe it like that. That is pretty good description.
Simpy, they are. And so they would be so sweet and so extra, and like I would hook up with them and expect like them to never talk to me again, and I would go back to LA and they'd be so simpy, and I'm like, ooh, I love this. I was like, and so I keep going back to Vegas, and unfortunately you keep going back to Vegas, you learn it is a small town. And like I remember one day I went to a day pool and I got a guy's number, and then I went to a nightclub that night and I got a guy's number. And they're both texting me the same day and like both having great conversation. And the next day I want to get laid. So I'm like trying to figure out like which guy do I like. I'm texting both of them. I'm asking them. I'm getting down to like the questions because they're both flowing like well. They both have great personalities and they're both very good looking. They're both very similar. They both have like blonde hair and blue eyes. Like they looked very similar. I'm asking them all the basic bitch questions like what's your zodiac sign? Like trying to figure out how compatible they are. They're both Aries. Like so I'm like, okay, that doesn't help at all. They're both the same. They both have like the same jobs, like they both have the same interests, like same looks. And then I'm like, all right, so dick pic tiebreaker. And so I asked for the dick pics, and their dicks are like the same. They're both amazing. They're both amazing.
If you made it to this part of the video and you expected that that's what the answer was going to be, let me know. Put it in the chat what you thought. Oh my God. And their dicks. They were the same. They were the same dicks.
They were like amazing.
Same
now,
amazing
so then I'm
dicks.
like, I'm having to go to my gut feeling, and I'm like, all right, so
One of them was a fuckboy, right? That's what it was?
yeah, one of them had more fuckboy vibes, like wanted to go to the club with me and then come over later, or like Netflix and chill. And one was like datey, like wanted to take me to dinner, was being more gentlemanly like. So I was like, you know what? I really like and respect the gentlemanly one. Like, he's got something, you know, maybe. He's still very similar. Like, it's a very hint of a difference. And I'm like, so, you know what? I'm going to go to dinner with the really nice gentlemanly one. You know, I'm going to play the long game with this one. I'm going to go to dinner with him, and we're going to have a great dinner, and then maybe, like, we might date. The fuckboy one, I'm like, I'll go to the club with me after dinner, and then I'll just fuck him, and then I'll never talk to him again, you know? So I'm going to use him. And so I think, like, oh, this is a genius plan. I get to meet both and feel it out. And there was still a chance, too.
Travis, does this seem like a genius plan to you?
It's maniacally.
Hey, Travis, let me ask you a question. Just listen to the story.
Yeah.
Having heard the previous story, how do you think the story ends?
Okay.
How do you think the story ends?
They're gonna be like, bro, I just fucked this girl, and then it's gonna be texting his friend, and then
No.
Oh, you're so close, but not quite close enough.
all
Keep
right.
going, Amanda.
No, so he's like, yeah, like the nightclub one, he's like a host or whatever. So he's like, yeah, you can come to the nightclub, and then you just come to my place after. I was like, cool, I'll come to my place after. So I'm gonna get dinner and a club, and I'm gonna get to meet both. Like, this is a perfect plan. The guy for dinner picks me up, and we're driving on the way to dinner, and he's like, oh, my roommate is just driving me insane. He's like such a fuckboy, cannot. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah. And he starts telling the story. I'm like, oh, like, well, who's your roommate? Like, and I'm so thankful. I don't know what made me ask, but he shows me his Instagram, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is a trap. This is a trap. I'm like, he fucking knows. They know. They plan this. Like, this is all to, like, embarrass me.
So they're roommates. Where did they live? Do you remember like what apartment complex?
No, I never went there.
Oh, you
so
never
I
went.
never
Okay.
ended up going there.
So they end up being roommates. They end up both being Aries. Send you the same pictures.
Oh,
One of them's a
you wanna
nice
know
guy.
what's worse?
What?
Oh, I hope this guy doesn't watch. I was staying at a Vegas hookups from the last visit I was house. He was out of town, and he let me just come fly in and stay at his house. So he picks me up from this other guy's house. Oh my God, I forgot that part. So he picks me up from this guy's house, and I'm like, yeah, don't mind. Like, it looks like a man's house.
So the datey guy picks you up from the hookup's house
from the last trip.
and he's
Yeah.
not there, and then you're gonna go on with the date worthy dude, and then afterwards go meet up with the fuckboy, right? All right,
Yeah.
keep going.
So I'm on my way to dinner, and he's talking about his roommate and talking shit, and then he shows a picture of him, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, he knows. Like, this is like, he knows. Like, and I'm like, you just gotta come clean. Like, honesty is the best policy. And I'm like, oh my God, I know your roommate. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I swear I got both your numbers the same day, like 2 different clubs. I was like, how is that possible? And I was like, and I really, like, I was asking both y'all questions all day to try and decide. And he goes, and he's an Aries too. And he's like, that's crazy. And I was like, I know.
Why does this make me so happy, Travis? Why does this make me so happy?
because it's a great fucking
This is a
story.
great fucking story. Keep going.
And I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, y'all are very similar. I see while y'all are roommates, I was having a really hard time deciding between the two of you. And he was like, what do you mean? And I'm thinking he's playing me. Like, I feel like they communicated that he knows. And I'm like, I just got to tell the truth, you know? And I was like, well, I liked you more, so I wanted to go to dinner with you and actually get to know you, but I was going to go to the club after and meet him and possibly go back to your place.
I mean, wouldn't that have been the better story? You go on a date with a girl, and then at the end of the date, you take her back, and then she goes to the club, and then you go home, and she shows up at your apartment with your roommate from that same night. Well, how incredible would that story have been?
And I'm so glad I found out.
That was, I mean,
didn't
that,
happen.
oh my God.
It could have happened. God really was on my side this day.
What an amazing
ending. And he knows that it's so similar. And he's like, man, he's gonna get the late shift. I'm like, yeah, just because I don't respect him.
Right. And that, let me tell you, that really works for ladies. That really helps. When you're like, hey, I'm not going to have sex with you because I respect you. I'm going to fuck your friend who's a fuckboy because I don't respect him. Every guy loves hearing that. Let me tell you, that is an exact, all you ladies, take that advice. You should use that with every fucking guy that you talk to. It's going to help you out. Really great reputation you're going to end up. No, keep going. Keep going.
So, he's like obviously very upset. And I was like, I totally understand. I'm one of those that can be like, you know what? I blew it. Just take me back home. Like, I'm good. I feel like shit. I feel guilty. And so I have him take me back home, and he's upset. And he's like, no, like you're going to let me kind of. He's kind of like, push it, but whatever. I'm not going to. But he was really cute and sweet. And so I ended up not meeting up with his fuckboy roommate. I ended up just talking with him. And I ended up moving to Vegas, and he helped me build all my IKEA furniture. He was like a down guy. So I made a good choice in the long run because I got my furniture built by him. So boyfriend.
What an incredible story. That's amazing. The people who are watching are applauding right now. That was unbelievable.
I'm going to be blacklisted after this. No one's gonna want to date me.
So terrific.
This is 4 years ago, by the way, too. I'm a whole other person every year. So people that knew me last year, by the way, ain't even me. I've had several upgrades on the inside and outside every year. So, but yeah. So I ended up really liking Vegas guys and the Vegas lifestyle, and I started to travel more to build my.
And this is the first
Instagram.
time I met you was at Paradise Challenge. So this would have been 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. And you were there to shoot. You were working really hard, getting a lot of
I had just moved to Vegas.
Okay.
So
That's right. You told me that. And you were working. I mean, you used to dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Well, so I lived in LA. I worked. I got over it. I was like, I want to travel more and shoot more because that's what was making me grow. That's making me learn. I could feel the progress. So I was like, I could travel more if I moved to Vegas because the rent is so much cheaper. So, and I was just having more fun there. I was going there every weekend. So I moved to Vegas. I spent all the rest of my money that I had to rent my house. They didn't want to rent it to me because they were like, what do you do for a job? And I'm like, oh, I'm like an IG model. And they were like, how do you get paid for that? And I was like, it's hard. So they didn't believe me. So I was like, I got 6 months rent up front right now, all my money. Let me live here for 6 months. You have all the rent right now. So they were like, done. So I rented my house. I have $200 in my bank account. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so stressful. I was like, I don't know. I've never had this little in my savings. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, well, when in Vegas, we do love to twerk and we do love our attention and going out here in Vegas. So I'm like, let's try and be a stripper. So I have to spend $100 of my $200 to buy stripper heels, and then $20 on my sheriff's card, which is your background check to work as an independent contractor for the strip clubs. I go into Sapphire, they have me put in a bikini, they say turn around, I turn around, and they say you're hired.
Yeah, it really is like that. I used to manage a strip club, and it really is like that. It is pretty.
They're like, you can come in whenever you want, leave whenever you want. They're like, you just pay us $100, and whatever, they get 10%.
So I got a bunch of questions. So the house fees were $100 back then when you went to Sapphire. It was the biggest strip club in the world. You did not have a set amount of time, 5-6 hours, because I know at the Rhino it was like.
Yeah, other girls at Sapphire sometimes had 6 hours.
Yeah.
I know Rhino's always 6 hours.
Yeah.
But with me, they were just you do what you want.
Okay, no. So I need to ask a little bit contextual questions. You have had a boob job, a BBL at this point. Have you have anything else done?
Not at this point. I was just rocking the boob job and the BBL, and I was still pretty pretty.
Yeah.
I was
did
bad.
Was your hair always this? Did you dye it always this color or?
Yeah, I had it red for like a long time. So yeah, I was always that redhead. They like no redheads are money back then at the strip club.
Yeah.
Too. So and I had a good look. Like a lot of people like my natural face. They did like say I look like Scarlett Johansson a lot. So I had the like Black Widow thing going for me. So they were like, yeah, you can do whatever. And they're like, just give us $100. And I was like, great. So they're like, you can start work now. And I'm like, cool, I'm negative $80 now. Like, I need to go and make some money. And I love dancing. I love twerking. I love, like, just conversating and meeting new people as well. So I, like, loved it. I was just doing hella lap dances and having fun. And I never looked at the clock. I never looked at how much money I had. And I, like, finally got tired or my knees hurt. And I left, and I didn't get home till 8 a.m. Like, the sun was rising in my backyard, like, and I sat there with, like, a slushie and my wad of money, watched the sunrise, and I started counting my money. And I made $1,500 my first night. And I was like, wow, like I had such an adrenaline rush. I was like, this is so awesome. It's like what I used to do with my Snapchat and Tinder, but like I'm getting paid for it. Like, fuck yeah. Like being paid to be flirty and show my titties. So I was like, I love it. And so I went back like the next night. It was like a Tuesday too. I'm like going in on a weekday and I made like $3,000 the next night. And I was just like obsessed. So I worked every night and I was like, no, fuck dating, fuck men. Like we're just doing photo shoots and stripping.
So this seems to be like a common thing for you when you see like a point of what's the word I'm looking for? Market inefficiency, you attack it. Mm-hmm. You attack it hard, right? You see, it's like everything else. No, I can make more money doing this. You quickly switch over, and then you put your full focus into that one thing.
Yeah,
that's one thing I noticed because with you that I noticed a lot of girls, they're just pretty and they're just like, I'm just gonna stand here and be pretty and just shoot whenever I shoot and show up late to shit. You're never late to anything. You show up to stuff all the time. And you're very professional, and then you're working all the time when you're over at Sapphire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was like so focused. And what's crazy too is people like were assuming then they're like, oh, you're probably like a bad girl. You're probably like a hoe because you're a stripper now. And I'm like, no, this is my rehab. I was like,
but this is me doing better.
I'm
at Sapphire leveling up. I'm doing better now.
I'm like, there's one thing I love more than dick, and it's money. So I'm like, cool. And I'm still rubbing up on boners, like on laps, you know, like through jeans, like making dudes come on themselves. So it's like a high. So for real, I was so when I can make a dude come in his pants, I was like, that's just, you can't beat that at a night at strip club. And I swear to God, I still have like OnlyFans subscribers that would come in and buy lap dances for me. So and that's such a unique thing.
Wow.
There was like one guy, he would save up once a year and come to Vegas so he could get dances with me and go VIP. And he'd bring his wife too. Like eventually start bringing his wife. Like so I could dance on her too.
Incredible.
But yeah, so I was like obsessed with money, and I was like, yo, fuck dating, fuck dudes. Like I could get attention. I'm so tired, and my knees hurt from dancing and twerking. Like and I was exploring Vegas still, so I would like go out to dinner, take myself out to dinner and like gamble a little bit, and then I would go to the club. Like I was just soaking up Vegas and life, and then I also getting ready to strip every night, like getting your hair done and putting lingerie on, was getting me to shoot every day because I'm doing my hair and makeup. I'm getting sexy, so I'm able to like come up with my IG posts and shoot because I'm also doing it for work. So I'm like double fisting.
So you would
sexy money.
You would shoot. So I'm saying you would get ready for work, shoot that for your IG,
yeah,
and then post that, and then go into work and then make $3,000.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This is a businesswoman.
Yeah,
right
and then OnlyFans was created.
Yeah.
And luckily, throughout my travels, this is before Paradise Challenge, before we met, with all my travelings with photographers and models, I already had built a mini network for myself of being well known in all these places and all these sources. So everyone's like, oh, like you got to do OnlyFans. Now, they had Patreon first.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I did do Patreon first, but it like died off real quick because they were doing weird payouts and stuff, but they were like, no, OnlyFans is new, like you got to do OnlyFans. And so I make one. My photographer friend in LA tells me to do it. I make one, and like the first week I made like $10,000 because I also had all these old Snapchat subscribers that are just missing the shit that they used to see.
Did you ever take those Snapchats and put them on OF?
No, because I was like fat, and some of them were like flat chested me too. No, you can't reuse them; they're gross. But yeah, so then I made a lot of money on OnlyFans. The same week, I had started liking a male stripper at the time. This is when I was like, my stripping, I said, was like my rehab, and I was able to tone down. And so then I started getting like a little sappy, and I like started dating this male stripper.
Well, before we get to that part, I'm curious, what is it like? You family lived in Michigan, and you also mentioned in a previous interview that when you had your real estate job, the people from your real estate job were getting offended or can you talk about, so this is when people level up, a lot of times they leave a group of people behind, and I'm just curious, now you have made a pretty significant level up at this point. What is it like? Coworkers, family members, people from back home, what are the reactions that you're getting?
So part of what made me like quit my job and go full force into modeling and stuff, the people I worked with at my job at that point had seen me fresh out my divorce, flat-chested, and had watched me develop, you know, my makeup, my eyebrows, my like looks, and then to watch me get my boobs, like, and they start to see me blossom in the person I am, like feeling more confident who I am. When you're more confident, you're able to do better in sales. So I'm crushing it, like commission-wise. I'm also very young. I'm only 23. These women I work with are in their 30s and 40s. They have husbands, they have children, and they're part-time, and I'm full-time with benefits because I'm selling and I'm also educated and I'm very good at what I do. I had more experience than them. I had other jobs before that were in the same field. So I had this higher position than them, and I started to get really sexy looking, but I was still professional and classy and stuff. And I had kept my modeling, like only bikinis. Like I said, my Snapchat had been private, like hidden away, like a whole other name. It was like Naughty Nicole. And
so they because you said a story that I thought was pretty offensive, is that they brought you in and they were like, how are you making all these sales?
No, yeah, so on weekends I worked with one other girl, so just me and one other girl in the office, and these two guys wanted to lease an apartment together, like a luxury apartment. I show them like a model apartment. I bring them back to the office. I give them my card, and they go like tour other apartments. They come back at the end of the day. They're like, oh, it's between this one and this one. Like, can I see the actual unit I'd be getting here? And I was like, cool. So I go do the tour. I come back, and they like want to apply, and I'm like, great. So I help them apply, and they're like, so we used your card to like look up your phone number, email. Back then you could look up emails or contacts and like add them on IG.
Yeah.
So they found my IG like while they were searching apartments all day. So this is probably what made them come back. But again, I was nothing but professional, and my IG at the time was super PG. I just had boob jobs, and I posted bikini pics in Cali, like, you know, like regular stuff. I didn't even have my like BBL yet or nothing, that thing. And so they just talk about my IG. My other coworker hears that, and she just creates this whole like fantasy situation in her head that like I followed them on IG and I hit them up, and she even like concocts this idea that I leased the apartment because I did 2 tours with them, that I let them gangbang me like in the room in an apartment or whatever.
First off, gangbang is not 2 men. Let's get that straight. This dumb woman who thought that is not how it works. Gangbang is at least 4. This is ridiculous.
I agree.
Secondly, that is really, like, because I've had the same situation before.
Yeah, they were busted too. They were like, no.
So they made up a scenario where they said that you may have had sex with them in order to get them to buy to lease this apartment.
And I was like, no, I just have to smile. But so like I get pulled into a meeting with like the regional manager or whatever like that next week. And they're like, hey, and they start like recording me. And I'm like, what's going on here? And they're like, yo, so we're doing an investigation on sexual harassment, and we need your like statement. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, somebody sexually harassed somebody in the office? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, like how? And they're like who? And they're like, you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you make other people feel uncomfortable in the office. And I was like, what? I'm like really confused. And then they start asking me questions. They're like, so you're divorced, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, are you dating anyone? And I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? And they're like, have you ever like on a tour like had a train run on you? And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I have Snapchat for that at home. What are you talking about? Like, I was like, no, like absolutely not. Like I start bawling, crying, because I'm like, oh my God, they're like slut shaming me or like making me feel a certain way. And I've never done anything with like a client. I wish. That's kind of hot sounding to think about. But now I'd be like, man, I shoulda if I was getting accused of it. But no, like, and I was so upset, and they were like, so if you say anything to the girl, like, then you're, what's it called? Like, you're gonna create a hostile work environment. So you can't even confront the girl. So they're like, if you're really upset, because I'm mad, I'm crying, they're like, if you're really upset, like, you can go home for the day. And I was like, okay, yeah, I need to go home. Like, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, I start crying. They realize, I say, like, in the recorder, I was like, this whole interview question process, I'm like, is sexual harassment towards me. I was like, I'm so uncomfortable right now. I feel like I can't come back to work. I was like, this is sexual harassment towards me right now. And then they, like, stop it, and they, like, let me go home. And then I come back, and then I, like, saved for, like, a whole month. I, like, busted my butt making hella commission. And then I gave my, like, 2 weeks. And they're like, what? They're like, you can't leave. Like, we need more than 2 weeks. And I was like, they're like, you got to train a new person to take your place or whatever. And I was like, oh, you know, you don't like the 2 weeks notice thing? I was like, you're really not going to like that I'm just going to leave now then. I was like, fuck y'all. Fuck this. Here's the keys. And then I was like, good luck, girl who wanted my job and wanted to get me fired. I'm like, good luck learning it now by yourself on weekends and shit, never having a day off. Like, congrats. But I left. So, yeah, that was kind of hard. My parents, with the come up, my parents were first, they're very strict, they're very old school, very Republican, Midwest Southern. My mom is a true Southern belle. My parents were upset at the bikini pics. They knew. They're actually smart. Parents are much smarter than you think. You should listen to them when you're younger, because they really know their shit. But I started doing bikini pics, and they're like, you're gonna end up doing porn.
And so parents are really smart. They figured this out from the beginning.
And I was like, Mom, I'm taking bikini pics on the beach for my Tinder. I'm not gonna do porn.
This is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing.
I'm not gonna end up doing porn. I was like, you're crazy. And they hated me being single because they knew, like, they were like, no one's gonna date you. And I was being crazy on social media and stuff.
I think that is a really interesting thing where I have a friend of mine. She, I'm not going to give too many details, but she was a huge porn star back in the like 2010s or whatever. She quit because her family asked her to quit. And then her family was always like, oh, this girl did a bunch of drugs, went to rehab. Like all the things your parents say, don't do these things. Don't do porn. Don't do a bunch of drugs. And then I saw her the other day, and she's got a ring the size of my head on her hand, and a man who loves the fuck out of her and has given her 3 children. And it's really funny because that thing, that stigma, I'm sure it exists with a lot of men, but a lot of it's gone. Like I just really, eventually, and I'm saying this right now already. What is this? The January 2022, we will have an adult actress or actor become a politician, like an elected official in this country, probably in the next 5 years, because people are just not as judgmental. Some girl is going to make so much money on OF, she's going to be able to run a campaign, and she's going to end up becoming the mayor of some city or something like. There you go, mayor. There you go, President Amanda. But like, I'm just telling you, the judgment for not for everyone, but for a certain segment of the population, that whole thing of like, don't do this.
It is becoming so mainstream now.
Yeah, but like no one will want you. Well, of course people will want. This is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
So you're gonna end up doing porn, and they're so mad. So they like had me blocked for like a whole year just from doing the modeling.
But they still talk to you. They just blocked you on.
No, they blocked me texting. Like I didn't talk to them for
wow.
a year because of the modeling. And then they eventually got over it. They got over it when I got a boyfriend because they were like, oh, someone will want her, you know. But we'll get to that surprise earlier. But they didn't like the modeling. But it's just crazy, though, because I went through that. And then later on, when I've added worse things to the career path.
Foreshadowing.
They're like, it's whatever. They're like, we're already over it. We knew it 4 or 5 years ago. Like, nothing new. And yeah, they only get stressed a little bit when I'm single.
Okay, so now we fast forward back to the point where you're in Las Vegas, and then you meet a male stripper. Is that what you said? How did you meet him? How did you meet this particular person?
So I decided to take a night off from work, and I still like the environment, and there's something in me that always feels like I need to give back to the karmic universe or the community. I was like, let me take all these ones that I haven't like changed out for bigger. I was like, let me go rig it right on some male strippers. I'm like, feel bomb for a second. So I go out in the strip club by myself, and I'm like, oh, I just want to get I want to get lap dance. Like I want to feel what I've been feeling like the other way. And so I go in, I sit, I make it rain on a lot of guys. I'm still close friends with all of these strippers.
Which review is this?
This was King's the Hustler.
Okay.
And so I still give back to my community regularly.
Yes, that's how you give money to a male stripper. That's how you give back to your community. Got it.
So I end up walking up to this one that had like a ginger beard. Like ginger beards at the time was my type. So I've had a lot of phases. And so he had a ginger beard. So I go right up to him and I'm like, hey, I would like to buy a dance. And he's like, you're joking. Like, you want to just get married instead? And I was like, no, I want to see if you could dance first. So I ended up buying a dance. The guy's like in love, obviously, like doing the most, and then gets my number, and then we end up going on some dates, and he was really cute. And I was like, wow, like this was the first time in like 3 years I was like, oh, I could actually like date somebody, like have like a boyfriend. Like I was like, I really, really like this guy. So I was like starting to like get into a relationship kind of mood and like just my hustle and work and like this relationship. And he breaks up with me because my Instagram is like a lot at the time. Like when I first started doing social media, I was so just into sharing every aspect of my life with social media. I'm always a very open person, and I had to learn through time some things can be left to yourself. And so, like, for example, he would leave his apartment door unlocked. So he would leave the strip club earlier than me and get home, and he'd fall asleep. And I could leave work and come straight to his apartment, and he'd leave the door unlocked, and I could go in, and like cuddle and wake up with him in the morning. So, and this is also in stripper world or in Vegas world, this is how strippers stay loyal. You know that at the end of the night you come back to each other and that you were a good stripper girl boy. So, and
by the wake up in the morning, we mean 3 p.m.
Yeah, like noon.
Yeah.
And so I went there one night and the door was locked. Oh, his car wasn't there. So, he was somewhere else. So I was I still am a tad bit crazy. I'm a redhead. I got good puss and I'm a redhead. I'm going to be psychotic if you date me, all right? I'm worth it. I'll buy you a truck or something to make up for it too. I'm aware I'm a little psycho. So
I will be psychotic and stab you, but you will get a truck in exchange. Does that sound like a fair exchange to you? I know,
a Raptor,
like
$100,000.
Would you rather? Hey, not F-150. It's a fucking Raptor. Would that be a fair exchange? You date her. She's a little bit crazy, psycho. You might end up getting injured, but in exchange, she's got a fat ass. But in exchange, you get a truck. Write in the comments right now. I would write truck or psycho in the comments.
I usually don't like my men to work either. So you probably wouldn't work. You
don't even have to work. You just get the truck and get stabbed every once in a while. Think about that.
You don't have to go to work, insert Fifth Harmony song. Anyways, we can work from home. So I would post everything on my Instagram. So of course, me freaking out outside his door at 5 a.m., like banging on it.
You posted that on Instagram?
I posted it out.
Was this on story? You
Yeah.
posted this on story?
Yeah. But
Okay,
my story views were still a lot.
Yeah.
So like his ex-girlfriend or something had followed me. Like his sister followed me. Like they all see me like just going off. Like I hadn't, no filter. So everyone saw everything. So he was like, yo, like, this is too much. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. And so we break up. And I'm like, I'm going to go harder on my Instagram now. So then I booked Paradise Challenge. Like, we broke up in my garage, like, booking Paradise Challenge.
Yeah.
It was this new thing. A lot of influencers and photographers were coming together to meet in Jamaica and do photo shoots. And it was like, it seemed like really big and legit. And it was. And I showed there, and I shot with every photographer that was there. I met Michael, too. He was the host there, so it was cool.
You worked your butt off. I remember. There's when you go to Paradise Challenge, you'll see some girls. They'll come there, they'll work hard the first day, and then they get drunk for 2 days, and they'll shoot again.
Now.
Right? But like you'll see some girls that they are about working with every single photographer there. Period. They're just there for work. They go to bed, early. They wake up early and do
hair,
yoga.
makeup, everything.
And the rest of them are out there just getting fucked up. I don't know if you know this, marijuana. There's not very many punitive laws against that in Jamaica, and people are just getting stoned and fucked up and the whole time, and they may shoot like 3 or 4 times.
Oh my
but it's
God,
whatever you want. That's why Paradise Challenge is so much fun. It's whatever you want it to be.
You'll learn too at Paradise Challenge who are the girls that are like old Amanda and who are the
That is the truth.
Because you get models on an island for 7 days with a very small male population. You're going to learn who can't keep it in their pants for 7 days.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to we're gonna go back to your story because I think you know the same story I'm about to tell right now.
Yeah, I want to tell you.
So there's the prude side at Hedonism there in the Grill Jamaica. There is the prude side, and then there is the nude side. Please do not say any names. There is Please do not say any names, okay? All right, because these people know who they are. There have been some wild stories on the nude side. It's not an optional thing, and it's optional to be nude on the prude side. It is not optional to be nude on the nude side. You have to have no clothes on. If you walk over there and just want to go get a pizza, they tell you while you wait for this pizza, you got to take all your clothes off because you make people feel uncomfortable when you wear clothes and they don't have any clothes on. I will be waiting for my pizza. No lie, devil's threesome. Right to my right, this lady is having sex with 2 men at the same time while they're ordering drinks. That is what the nude side. That's what the nude side at Hedonism is like. It is wild. I have seen the craziest things. I've had girls sitting on my lap while other dudes are like rubbing their dicks on them. I'm like, get please with the dicks. Please move it back away. I've absolutely
swingers are amazingly entertaining. I love them.
I have absolutely sat next to people just having a conversation, not realizing they were having sex in the jacuzzi right next to me.
In Jamaica, have you ever sat by me having sex in the jacuzzi?
I've never sat by. Okay, please don't. Okay, and now I know the fucking story you're gonna tell. No.
Have you though?
I have not seen you.
You never caught me?
I've never caught you.
I'm always. So the first one
you caught
I came
me. That's
to
what
work,
I was talking about. Yeah, yes. Now I remember
the first one I
this.
came to work. Now the other ones, I love the nude atmosphere, the swinger vibe. So I bring my own. I bring what's it called? BYOD.
Yeah.
I bring my own deck with me so that I bring a boyfriend. Like they usually like allow me to. So I do my shoots during the day, and then at night I'm on the nude side, like wilding out with my dude, smoking.
What kind of crazy stuff have you seen on the nude side?
Like the first time I was on the nude side and I had a guy with me, like the Jamaican guys that worked there, like came in the little like hut by the pool and they were like, you need a hand? You need help or anything? Like, can I get a titty grab?
Okay, so there's another thing I need to tell you about hedonism. There's a light in your bathroom. Everyone has a bathroom. There's a light that turns red. I used to think because I used to fly an airplane at night, or special ops for the Air Force. We would turn that red light on because we didn't want to mess up our night vision. That's what I thought the light was for. It is not. That red light in your bathroom means you are ready to play. That means you are welcoming other people to come into your.
I did not know that. That
Yes.
is why so many people knock on my door.
Yeah, that's
I
what
just like the pretty color.
They come knock on your door whenever you leave that red light on because it's a swingers resort. It's a swingers resort, right?
Yeah, I mean they give it to us for the month to do photo shoots and to shoot nude photos and stuff. So that's why it's at that resort. But there are still some nude swingers.
Yeah,
but
and just so we're clear, you will be in the water shooting nude, and while you're shooting nude, a couple will come out and start having sex on the beach, literally like right next to you while you're shooting.
It's really romantic.
And here's the thing, they're the ones who get offended. It's like you're shooting nude, they're having sex next to you. And if your camera accidentally goes this way, security will come and find you. Be like, you can't take videos of them having sex, which I get. But like, they're the naked older people that are having sex next to you. They're the ones who are offended.
They're the coolest people.
Yeah.
I love swingers. I think I just love them. They're like my people.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna end up being an old lady swinger if I don't get married and have babies. Somebody knock me up.
So anything. So you're on the nude side. You've been to the nude side a few times.
Yeah. So the last time I went, I had a boyfriend of like a lot of years. So he came with me, and he was very secure and confident guy. And he actually became best friends with one of my exes, my ex right before him. So they became friends, and they were like cool. With each other, and so they both wanted to come to Vegas with me, or not to Jamaica with me. So I was there in Jamaica with all these models with two of these like stud muffins, one of which I had dated, and then my current boyfriend. So that caused a lot of talk already from the start. These models are like, who's this girl? Why does she have two guys on her arm everywhere? But the one was just my friend or whatever. But I also had another model friend who brought her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was a normal Southern accountant with a dad bod, which is very cute and adorable. His dick a little small for me. Little micro. But so we're all on the nude side because we're all friends and we're hanging out in the nude side jacuzzi because that's where we like to be, like all my peoples. And the accountant and his girlfriend was a model friend of mine, and he gets out for a second. He was like nervous and stuff around us. My ex that was with me, the ex, I guess we'll call him the ex. He had a crush on my model friend and like was interested in her. So they're nude. Everyone's nude. Everyone can see everybody's junk. He was just getting his dick sucked by another model. So he's all hard. And he like wiggles it at her. Like doesn't touch her. He's like from across the hot tub. He just like jiggles it. And he's like, you like what you see? She was looking. My friend was looking. Come on. She was looking. So I'm like, this all like doesn't, I don't even pay attention. I'm in my own little world. And me and the ex and the ex, we go to the beach and we're like vibing and we're having a good time. And my friend calls me. She's like, oh my God, don't let accountant see XX. He's gonna kill him. And I was like, what? Okay, first off, XX is like a veteran, like used to be special forces or some shit. I was like, good luck, accountant. And he's like, don't let him find him. And these XX and X are on steroids, and they're taking a lot of them so they can look good for photo shoots at this trip. So they are very testosterone up. They are ready to go. So they say, fight, and they're like dogs, like let's go, let's find him. So they go find him, really killing my vibe for the night. And they're like having this issue. Now my boyfriend at the time that was with me is very level-headed, tries to keep the peace, is all about being friends. He's like, bro, he didn't shake his dick at your girl. We're all nude. You know, we're all just being playful. It's fine. He didn't say nothing. He didn't do it like that. And my ex, who is a douche, is like, no, I did.
Whoa.
And the accountant's like, bro, that's so disrespectful. And he's having like a tissy fit. He is so just in his face, like fighting, but it's like very clear, like he's not going to do shit, you know? And he's like looking up at him, and he's just yelling. And the guy's like, yo, we're all naked. We all see each other's stuff right now. Like he jiggled it a little, he said something. Like it'd be different like if she wasn't already like we're already all naked. Like it's not a big of a deal. We're having a fun vibe. It's a light atmosphere. So they keep going on, and the guy just keeps bringing it around. They like end the argument, like they seem cool. He's still going around like acting upset and mad and like talking shit. So the guys come back to him again, and they're like, yo, like I thought we resolved this, like it's okay. And then the accountant goes to my boyfriend. He's like, yo, he would never disrespect you like that. And my boyfriend at the time, he's like, well, I know he wouldn't, because he's like, I wouldn't be having these conversations. He's like, I would do something different. And then the guy was like, bro, he's like, you're just too soft. He's like, the model girl was an ex-Marine. He's like, you're dating an ex-Marine. Like, come on now. Like, get it together. You're too soft. And the guy's getting madder and madder. He's like baiting him. And he goes, he's still yelling in his face. And he's like, listen, bro. He's like, you've been going on and on. He's like, I've been listening. He's like, at this point, he's like, I shook my dick at your bitch, and you're not doing shit about it. He's like, you either go in your room and shut up, or you do something. And I swear, I'm like, oh, I was like, them's is fighting words. I was like, if that was my boo, I was like, you gotta throw a punch or something. Like, he just said, I shook my dick at your bitch, and you doing nothing about it. And the guy just turns around and he goes in his room. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, how? And she's
the accountant goes back in his room.
The accountant goes back in his room, and the girlfriend follows him. And I go back to my room with my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, wow, babe. I was like, if that was you, I was like, and you just went back in the room and you didn't punch the guy, I was like, I would never be able to fuck you again. Like, that's such a bitch move. Sorry, accountant, if you're listening. It was, though. And then, like, they're still having like beef or whatever. The guy ends up next morning like making up to him, and almost like to the XX or the special forces guy, he ends up like being cool and like pussying out a little bit. They get home from Jamaica, this couple, the accountant and my model friend, and they break up. And within an hour of her breaking up with him, she calls me, and who do you think she's talking about? She's asking about the guy that like shook his dick at her. Yeah. And they end up dating and like getting engaged. So, word to the wise, if a dude tests you and says punch me or go back in your room, just take the hit. If you're gonna get beat up, just do it, because you gotta your pride, man. You can't get bitched out like that.
That is an incredible evolutionary psychological tale right there.
It happens all the time. I swear. I have this one guy friend. I was just at the gym yesterday, and he was like having beef with this guy, and he was like testing the waters of the gym, like getting in his face.
Yeah.
And the next day, the girl broke up with him, and guess whose DM she slides in?
Yeah, I've seen that too. Like when you warn, I've talked to guys about this. When you warn a guy about another guy, that's who your girl is going to go find next, because like her evolutionary brain is always looking who's the alpha male, and none of this is done consciously. It's all subconscious.
Yeah.
And so now subconsciously she's looking for cues. Who's the alpha male? Who's the alpha male? Who's the alpha male? The words don't mean anything. It's the actions.
Yeah.
And your current man being intimidated by this other man is just a sign that this other man is the one, and that becomes problem. And like, again, attraction's not a choice. It's not like we wake up this morning, it's like, I'm going to describe the type of person I'm attracted to, because we can't do that. Evolution doesn't make us like that. We can we only like sugar, salt, and fat. We don't like to eat poop. Evolution said no, you're not going to eat poop, and you like the type of people you're physically attracted to, and that there's nothing that you can do about that, right? So you're always looking for these cues. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting story that and I wasn't there, by the way. I had walked away a few minutes before any of that stuff had happened, but I heard about it afterwards. And
Michael was very busy. Michael cleans up.
What are you talking about?
Well, I paired his challenge.
Oh fuck, I forgot.
Michael, when I first met him, he played the nice guy cards.
There's a different Michael.
Well.
It's a different Michael.
No.
We're not talking about me.
Okay, we won't talk.
Wait, what happened? No, what happened? I don't know. No,
I don't know how Michael plays like the nice, like good guy card, but I swear to God, no one slays more pussy.
Wait, what are we talking? Wait, what? Yeah, we gotta mute this. This is crazy. This is obviously not true. None of this is true. This is
like 2 at a time.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm telling you, sometimes 3.
No comment. This is obviously talking about a different Michael. So here we go. So we talk about jealousy from back home. Now you are in a relationship with a guy. Is this the same guy? So you said the male stripper, ginger beard. Next,
no. I broke up with that. I got dumped by that guy before I went to Paradise Challenge.
Yeah. So by the way, 2 different Paradise Challenges. The first time you go to Paradise Challenge, I think it's 2017, and the one you just talked about.
I went work single mode.
Yeah. And
was wild but single.
And the one you just mentioned was 2020. I know because I was there.
Yeah. So many years.
Yeah.
I've been there like 4 times, I think.
So now you're, because I'm always interested in a model dating someone in Las Vegas. Now you've met another guy. So what's that like?
So my longest relationship, that guy that was with me in Jamaica, I'm currently single. I send pics. I'm taking boyfriend applications. Yeah, right there, the tag. Slide. I'm a good girl now, I swear to. Okay, anyways. No, but I had a boyfriend. I got back from British Challenge. I worked really hard on my IG. I built it up to like 400K. I got disabled, and I literally thought about quitting because I had met a guy at the first Jamaica the Paradise Challenge. It was a normal guy. He had a normal job. He was just there as like a friend to someone hosting it. And I met him there and we really clicked. He lived in Florida. So we did a little long distance relationship for a little bit. And he didn't really like my Instagram and my OnlyFans. My OnlyFans just started to take off. I had just started it. So I was making good money. But I liked him so much and he broke up with me over it all that I even told him, I'm like, listen, I will quit it all. I was like, I don't need it. I was like, I'll go get a normal job again. I'll move to Florida and I'll be a good girl and I'll just be what you want. I was like, I'll do it all. Like, I don't need it anymore. It's fine. And then my Instagram got deleted anyway. So I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, I'm done. I'll retire. I'll quit it all for you. And he's like, no, it's too much a part of who you are. He's like, you enjoy it too much. Like, it's just who you are. He's like, I don't want you to do that. And he was like, just move on. So I was like, okay. So I end up like rebounding with this guy who takes shirtless pictures on the strip in Las Vegas. And I end up getting like full on dicknotized. Vegas dick, beware, okay? The more felon and poor they are, they're gonna fuck you like their rent depends on it. So beware. Do not get dicknotized.
And there's the TikTok right there. I was wondering when it was coming.
So I get like I fall like madly in love super fast. Also, this guy, this is entrapment. I'm gonna tell you, this is entrapment. So I'm talking to this guy. I'm again at this point. I'm full blown good girl. I'm a relationship type of girl. I'm a wait until I really like you kind of girl. So we're having lots of dates. Even though he's a rebound, I'm still having like lots of dates and days of hanging out and doing things, but not having sex. So when it's finally time to have sex, it's been like a week or so of seeing each other every day, dating and talking and really liking each other. I put on the moves. I set the music, the candles, the fireplace. I put on the lingerie. I answer the door. He doesn't know, like, it's going down tonight, but I'm like, tonight is the night. It's down. It's going down. So I answer the door in lingerie, and he goes, like, he's just, like, stunned. And he's like, oh, my God. And he's like, I got to go to my car real quick. And I was like, what? I was like, I just answered the door in lingerie, like, the nude. He runs back to his car. I was like, what could you possibly need from your car right now? So I'm like, whatever. He comes back in the house or whatever. It's like sexy time. It's go time. We've been like building up for this for a week now. And we end up fucking for 5 hours straight, like covered in sweat, not a single break. My whole bed is covered in squirt. And I'm like, yo, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta take a break for a second. Like, it's 5 hours in. And I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, yo, I was like I can go, like I have a high drive, and I'm like, this isn't normal for like a guy, especially guys usually last like 3 seconds with me. So I'm like,
hold on, Travis, what do you think he did in the car?
He took Viagra or Cialis or something.
I actually think there was something else he did, and I'm gonna guess here.
Wait. So he's going like 5 hours, right? And I'm like, did you take something? And he's like, yeah, I took a little something. And I was like, oh, like what? And he goes, like Viagra. It was not Viagra. I'm gonna tell you, no, it's not Viagra. So he says it's Viagra, and I'm like, yo, don't they say in the commercials like a boner lasting 4 to 6 hours, like you should go to the hospital? I was like, it's been 5 hours like of having sex. I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm getting like a little sore from everything.
So he took extra Viagra.
No, I'm gonna tell you what he did. It's on the whole other level. So he's like, yeah, I'm a little sore. And I was like, should we like take a break for a little bit? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I really think I should smoke some weed and like try and get it to go down and go sleep because it's like kind of hurting. And I was like, yeah, I've been writing it for 5 hours, so I'm sure it's sore.
Would you prefer 5 hours? Or was in general?
It just depends on the mood. At this point, I had gone a month without sex.
Okay,
like I
so
said,
5
we're in
hours
good
is-
girl phase, Amanda. This is like brokenhearted Amanda, like, and then like waiting a while. So it had been a month since I had sex. Coming from former sex addict Amanda, so we had my little sex gremlin in a cage for a whole month. So when she's released and there's a hard dick that won't go down, I'm just like, I'll just keep going.
So,
and going.
so sex addict Amanda would prefer 4 times in one day or 1 time for 5 hours.
It depends how big the dick is, probably.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Finish.
And so he's like, I need to smoke weed and like go to bed and like rest it. And I was like, okay. And so we drive back to his house because I don't have weed in my house at this point. I would never smoked it at this time, and I was such a good girl. Good girl face. So we go back to his house, and this is the first time I posted him on my IG. So
Okay.
like it takes like a lot for me to post a guy on my IG, but I was like so like dicknotized after 5 hours. It's like, what the fuck, like whatever. So the first time I filmed him and posted him on my IG, I'm like, why you walking funny? Because he can't like walk. And he's like, why you walking funny? And I'm like, oh my God, this is like in my story, right? We come back to my house, he smokes weed, I go to sleep. I'm sleeping like a baby. Like this was a good night. I'm good. I'm gonna sleep. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. He wakes me up like 2 hours later or so at 3 a.m. And he's like, hey, I think I gotta go to the ER. And in my head, like, I knew that this guy was not like boyfriend material. Like, I liked him, but I was like, he wasn't really like dateable. Like, he had a kid, he didn't have a job. Like, I wasn't that excited. He wasn't very adult like to me. But it was great sex and he was hot. So I was like, fuck girl Amanda inside was like, oh, that sucks. Like, have fun. Like, I'm
I gotta go to the hospital. That sucks. Go have fun at the hospital. That sucks that you're having an erection for 8 hours.
good luck.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. So, and then he's like, you're not gonna go with me? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, all right, so I have to think in my head. I was like, if I was a man and this was reversed, I was like, I would think this dude is a piece of shit if he doesn't go with me to ER at 7 a.m. after fucking the shit out of me. So I was like, no, I'll go. And I'm like, oh, like ER at 7 a.m. after I've just been fucking all night is not my ideal night. And I'm sleeping. So I wake up, I go to the ER with him. He's in so much pain. His dick looks like it's about to explode. It's like purple. It's like raging. It's so embarrassing too. You walk in the ER, everyone is like snickering and like you can't hide it. It's like and all the nurses keep coming in to look at it, and the doctor goes, what did you take? And he's like, oh, like Viagra. And then, oh, okay, take this pill, it'll make it go down. He's like, how long has it been up for? He's like, 10 hours. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's gotta go down. And he's in so much pain, they're like getting him morphine. Like his dick's about to explode. This guy has like mommy issues too. So like me being there and consoling him, he was like in love immediately. So, but we're doing all this, it won't go down. And the doctor's like, I've never had one like not go down. And he's like, you must have been really exciting. And he's like, I'm gonna have to do something like I know that I'm supposed to do, but he's like, I've never done it. He's like, this is getting me weird. So he pulls out this giant needle with like a giant syringe thing, and they stick it in the base. And I'm such a ride or die. I held the dick down for him. And and they just drain the blood out. This giant vial of blood. They have to get all the blood and like release it out of the dick. And it's still raging hard after a whole like giant syringe worth. So they have to do like 2 giant syringe worth of blood to make it go down. And it's like great and everything or whatever. I end up dating this guy.
That was the best timing ever.
I end up dating this guy for like 3 years or so, and I don't find out until a year in what he took that night, and I'm like he's telling the story, or I tell the funny story to friends or whatever, and he corrects me. He's like, I lied to you that night. He's like, I didn't take Viagra, and I was like, what'd you do? And he's like, there's this special like off the market drug that like porn stars use to stay hard, and he's like, and you shoot it with a needle in your dick. And he's like, so I went out to my car and I shot this needle in my dick full of this stuff so that I can make a good impression and basically trap me.
So you were in love. That means he was ready for a relationship. That's what it tells me.
Yeah, no, he was I don't know if I'm ready there to disappoint. He was like a needle to the dick. He actually, and then when I found that out, I was like, oh, we need to do that again. I was like, he's like, yeah, I think I just took too much. He's like, we should definitely try that again sometime because it was fun. And I was like, yeah, just take less. And like, I think like our 2-year anniversary, he took it again. And he took like half. ER again.
You're kidding me.
Yes. So basically you can use it and you can fuck the shit out of this girl for hours and hours, but you will have to go to the ER to finish.
That's incredible.
And he's been in my ER for dick things like 4 times. Like, so my ER just knows them. When he comes in late at night, they're like, dick guy.
Oh my God.
There was this one time as an influencer and being like sexy or whatever, I got this one brand that wanted to give me a deal for these pills that are good. They're like natural Viagra is what they said. And I was like, cool, like send them to me. I'll advertise them. They'll pay me to advertise. I was like, cool. I get them and I'm like, hey, try these out. They're like natural Viagra. And sure enough, he ends up in the ER.
Dude, what? In the ER for that?
Yeah,
really?
But it wasn't the same.
Has
like,
he ever tried prescription Viagra like from a doctor?
No, he takes those every day. He's like obsessed with having the hardest dick for hours and hours. He's got to. He doesn't have a job.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He's got to dicknotize girls. I mean, it works. You know, they buy him cars and shit and pay his rent.
There we go. This is an unbelievable story.
But yeah, I'm not with him no more.
So let me ask you a question. You said on a couple of occasions you do post the guy that you're with. A lot of girls don't post the dude. Do you post? Okay, when you post the guy you're with, what sort of reactions do you get? Are they positive, negative? I mean, I imagine they're mostly negative, but like, what is that like?
So back in the day when I first started posting, there was a whole rising of IG models and OnlyFans models, right? And during this rise, it was a lot of classy, like Playboy style, Playmate kind of models. Like you did sexy, and on OnlyFans you sold nudes, right? And that's how it worked in the beginning. Like that's how most of the girls, and you still judged you hella if you have an OnlyFans, even if you were just selling topless photos or nudes. Like that's how it started out. And when I met him, I thought he was really hot, and obviously with these dick skills and stuff and these things, I was like, you have a talent. I was like, let's harness that. And I was like, we were fucking for 5 hours straight. Like, we should just film this. And, like, I'm going to sell this shit, too. I was like, we'll see if anybody wants to buy it. And so
the first time you said, because I asked Nora for the same thing. The first time you upload it, were you worried about the upload? What was that? What was the feeling like the first time you filmed Boy Girl and then you upload? Are you, like, worried about it? I get the vibe you weren't.
Well, like I said, back in the day, I had the Snapchat and I posted risky shit all the time.
Okay, got it.
Free. Like, so I wasn't tripping, really. I didn't give a fuck really, and I was like, well, we'll just see what happens, you know. And
I bet I know what happens.
And because we were so charismatic, and like I said, I was really good at showing and opening up about my life. I made the public and my following grow to love him. Like while we're in the ER and he's in pain about his dick, I'm interviewing him on my story, asking him how his night was, and I'm like, was it worth it? And he's like, yes. Things like that. So I'm showing, like, my followers are seeing the whole relationship unfold. So they end up actually liking him. And I ended up being a really big part of his son's life, like helping raise his son. And my followers really liked that. They were like, they didn't like me with being with a man, but they were like respected it a little bit. They were like, oh, that's nice. Like, she's not with rappers or athletes. Like, she doesn't care about that. She's actually, this guy has no job and she still take care of him and his son, and is so down for them rejecting celebrities and stuff in the DMs. And like, I was so down for him that they grew to like it, and we performed really good together. I still make good content, whatever kind it was. I put like out pretty high caliber content. So they like grew to love it. And I honestly think, when I think back, I had a lot of model friends in the industry. I was probably one of the first big like models to start filming with a guy on my OnlyFans. And I got so much flack. Like, hella models were so mad. They would hide their stories from me and then post like, no one wants to see you fuck your boyfriend. And I was like, my sales say otherwise.
Okay, so can you give me an idea? You're on OnlyFans. What is doing the best? What kind of video is doing the best as far as revenue? And then you do boy girl, and then what is the conversion? Is it twice as much, 10 times as much?
Well, now it's different. Now it's very different. But back then, I was making most money off just boy girl videos, because like not a lot of girls were doing it, so I was like cornering the market. Now like hella girls are doing it, and now my fans love that I'm forever single and just masturbating for them all the time.
Right.
So it's always different, and it changes with time. But back then it was like, it was cool. It was like, you're gonna see your favorite IG baddie be like almost a porn star, and it's homemade. They love homemade porn. I'm telling you, when I do the never mind. Anyways, but they love homemade stuff. It was very good. And I did little like themes and little movies. Me and him were really good at it. He's a very good actor. And I did hella cosplays too. Like big porn companies like Brat and stuff, they have copyright issues. They can't do a lot of things. So I'm able to do a Spider Girl and a Venom video and get all body painted and do crazy shit, like, so they were really popular. I still did my crazy squirting solos and all my nudes.
The nudes and the solos compared to the boy girl stuff, was the boy girl stuff just like a lot? Would it do a lot better?
Yeah, at the time. But yeah. I also wasn't that good at solos and nudes probably back then. I wasn't as good as I am now. Because
the reason why I was asking, the other girls I've asked, they were like, oh, then the first time I did boy girl, then it was like 4x. It was like 4 times as much revenue. And then I did.
Yeah, no, I like started the opposite. Now, my fans followed me and watched me grow in that relationship and do all those things and build my brand. And then my breakup was in May, and so now that I'm single, and now I'm like fully evolved through time. Like, I'm such a choosy, picky like girl, and I think it's so, like, I just value myself a lot that I don't want to share myself with a lot of men. So now I just get my attention. I can't strip either because I'm too big of a name, and it's just
right.
It's just weird.
Right,
it's a waste of money. So I much rather spend my nights getting attention, like chatting with my OnlyFans subscribers and masturbating for them nonstop. So I keep the gremlin at bay. But I keep it held in.
You do it for the fans though.
I know. I did. I ran into a fan in Greece though. And like, I was traveling Europe for a month, just doing my own thing, like exploring. I ran into a fan in Greece, and he was fine. And I was like, okay, we're gonna fuck a fan today.
Oh, you told me this the other day. When we were at dinner, you talked about some dude in Greece.
Oh my God, I have videos in my phone. This little Greek boy, he was so hot, and he would just like suck on my toes on the beach all day, like in the Mediterranean. It was like the life. Good rebound. All right, so you in that case you did post him. You also had an ex that got hacked one time. Is this? It's the same like 3-year ex. We had like 3 breakups, and my fans are crazy. So like, one of our breakups, we broke up because I was out of town and he came home. Or I was out of town, and he came home drunk, and he moved all my security cameras to like do something shady probably. And so I didn't, and because my fans are so invested and like they all believe I have a boyfriend, in order for me to start sliding into DMs or talking to guys, I kind of have to be open when I have a breakup. I have to say like I'm single, because I'm sliding people's DMs and they're like, you have a boyfriend, and I'm like, no, I don't. So I have to announce I'm single usually, or like make it a thing so it's known, and so that I can just live and I can slide in DMs like I want in peace. But like, I ended up posting, I was savage and I was petty and I was pissed. So I posted the video of him moving all my security cameras, being a slut. Cheater. And so my fans just like ripped into him, and then like a week later, like someone like hacked his account. Like they hacked his phone, his whole phone. Like he wasn't living with me anymore. He like moved in with another girl really quickly, but they hacked his phone, and they like screenshotting everything in his phone and like sending it to me, and then they were like posting it on his IG.
Wow.
And they were like messaging all the girls. So fucking crazy. And I was so mad because I still was paying his phone bill, and I just thought he was like having like a slip. Like I wasn't following him on IG as blocked, but I'm like, yo, this dude's sending me all this shit like to hurt my feelings, like pictures of him with other girls and stuff. I'm like, what? Like I was so hurt. So I like shut off his phone. Like I went on Sprint. I'm like, oh, like turn this phone service off. And so I turned his phone service off, and he's getting hacked. It's actually kind of sad to think about, though. I don't want to.
All right, so let's review the pros and the cons. You get to date Amanda Nicole. First off, pro, you get to date Amanda Nicole. Second of all, you get a raptor. Possibly you get a raptor. Third, you don't have to work. Here are the bad parts. You take a needle to your dick. That's one. Another one. Another negative part is she may end up being a little bit psycho. And third, if you do anything wrong to her, her fans will essentially rape you on the internet. They will
come for you.
They will rake you across the coals, and they will come for you. So that's,
I think
these are the pros and the cons.
When they took over his IG, like they changed his name to like Justice for Amanda Nicole or something like that. Was his bio. Like, yeah, they're crazy, but I love them. I love you guys. You protect me. They're just like my big brothers. They
This
just
is
care,
madness.
you know, too much. I love them though.
Hey, Amanda's my buddy. Do not hack me. Do not hack me. Where's my buddy right here?
No, they won't. They won't.
Okay, good. All right, celebrities, athletes, people like that in your DMs.
So when athletes slide in my DMs, usually I Google their contracts, and then I send the screenshots to them, and I tell them that I make more and they should go try somewhere else. I don't like them. No, I'm good on them. But no, sometimes they make more than me, but they're still trash. No, I mean, I'm sure there's some nice ones. If you are a nice athlete and you want to be a super gentleman and try, shoot your shot. What was I going to think? Celebrities, they're interesting. They're always different. It just depends on who they are.
And you've had celebrities hit you up, and then what's usually your reaction? Is it ever like, get out of my DMs, or this is interesting, or oh my God, I can't believe this person is writing me?
So my DMs, my Instagram DMs, I'm going to be honest, are so crazy. I cannot even go through my pending DMs. Like, it doesn't list from like top popular accounts. Like, it doesn't do anything like that. It's a jumbled mess. So that's why I say I love chatting with my OnlyFans DMs, because I can actually read those.
Right.
But for a celebrity's DM to like get to me, I basically have to follow them already, or I've like posted them in my story at a concert or event or something. So that's like usually the only way I can like see them. So usually when celebrities get through my DMs and I actually see them, it's because I actually already follow them. So it's kind of a nice feeling. Some of them are really cool and friendly. Some are really funny. Some are insecure. Some are cool. I think the first, I don't know, they're married now. They just had a baby. I don't know. The first celebrity back when he was recently single to ever like slide in my DM that like impressed me was Pratt. Chris Pratt slid in his DMs. I think he was drunk. He was in Brazil like for a movie premiere. This was like his prime too. Like he just got divorced from Anna Faris. He just became an Avenger and like Jurassic World. Like he was like the shit. So I was like excited. I wasn't as bad then. Like this is like old Amanda too. So I probably would have done better now.
Do you think he subscribed to your OnlyFans?
No, I don't think so. No, we could pull up my DMs right now. We can go through.
No, it's fine. We don't need
to. He was like talking to me, and I was just telling jokes and stuff, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're so funny." And I was like, yeah, like I used to be fat, so I formed a personality. And he goes, "You must have been so fat." And I was like, yeah, this dude's so funny. I didn't ever meet him or nothing, so it was just funny conversation.
Right.
But that was like the first time I was like, damn, I might be like the shit. Sometimes I had celebrities or rappers slide in my DMs when I was in a relationship. Am I gonna get sued if I say their names?
I can blank their name out afterwards. I'll let you listen to this, and if you want me to cut them out, I can.
Am I gonna get sued?
Absolutely not. I don't see how you can be sued. I mean, it's fair use.
Okay.
And by the way, they did it to you. Number one, they'd have to prove you were lying, and number two, they'd have to prove damages, and there's no way they're going to prove damages.
So I should really screenshot my DMs right now before they go erase them and send them. But one time Wiz Khalifa slid in my DMs while I was in a relationship. And I was always very honest with my boyfriend as well. And I'm like, yo, Wiz Khalifa wants to hang out with me, like, in the club. And he's like, tell him he can if he does a TikTok with me. So, like, I'm like, yo, Wiz, like, I can hang out with you, but first you got to do a TikTok with my boyfriend. And he, like, blocked me.
Had either of you ever given the other one a hall pass?
No. He told me to tell Drake to fuck off at one point.
Okay.
You know, so I don't have all that. I didn't. I'm single now. You know.
Just hit up Champagne Poppy again.
No, I was just with him. I was just at his birthday party.
Oh, okay.
He's cool. We're friends now.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Beautiful. All right, so that's essentially what happened. But yeah, never a hall pass. That's always an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. Your relationships are always completely monogamous, or are they ever monogamish or anything like that?
See, I have always been in monogamous relationships, but I have been feeling a little bit more enlightened, confident, frisky. And I have a lot of really, really, really hot friends, like the baddest bitches on the globe are like my close friends. So I'm really hoping that my next relationship, like, I can have more like 3-ways and stuff. Like, I want to actually like fuck my friends with like the next boyfriend I have. Pro of dating me.
There we go. That would be 4 to 3 now. Pro.
Mm-hmm. Also,
or 5 to 3 if you count.
I mean, it would be nice too if I could have like a guy be cool enough to let me have like maybe 2 or 3 boyfriends. Like, we have a whole reality show. We'll call it The Boys Next Door. And I'll just take care of them, and like we can have luxurious life together and travel. We'll all film together. I have like 3. Like, that would be a dream.
And to some people, that might also be a pro. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, but if not, it's whatever. Like, I get off too. I probably would get off if I had a boyfriend and he just like pretended to like be extra friendly, like, or let me be extra friendly with his friends, and then I go home and just like fuck the shit out of him and suck his dick and pretend that all 3 of them are there or something. I don't know.
Wow. Again, another pro. That sounds like another pro. All right, so
I sound so bad.
All right, so that's the thing. So you've filmed with girls before. You never. But the thing is, has there been a line that you didn't want to cross where it's like you film guy girl, you film girl girl, but you don't film guy girl girl?
Yeah, I haven't done a 3-way video. Like, I've done like 5 girls. I've done
So this is why I bring this up. That seems so 5 girls and then you and your boyfriend, but never the 2 shall meet.
Not yet.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Like, my last relationship, I didn't have a good trust.
Got it.
Bond, because he kept fucking up so much without my consent. So I like didn't have that feeling. But I know the next relationship I have, like, I'm not going to get in one unless I have like an absolute trust. And if my guy treats me like a queen and he treats me right, like, now I'm more mature, I know what to look for. If a guy like really values me and thinks the world of me, I have no problem like sharing him and like letting him experience.
But,
like, I want to treat him like a king back.
But he needs to make you feel special. He needs to make.
I need to feel like, yeah, like I'm his queen, and that like he's completely happy with me, and the other girls are just bonuses.
Right.
You know, and fun and different. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, let's hope. One day. There's a dream. Mm-hmm. All right. Speaking of a dream, you were in a gym one day and then you found out that you got a blue check mark. What was that like? Oh, so that was like great. I was actually going through one of my mini breakups or whatever, and I was in the gym, and I had been working so hard. I'd been like shooting all this crazy viral content, like getting all these articles written about me and stuff. And one day, again, I'm single, so I'm like trying to slide in, like on the comment section or DMs of guys, like, and I'm in this guy's comment section. I write a comment, and it hits send, and it goes all the way to the top, and it has a blue check. And I'm like, wait, whoa, okay, first we gotta delete the comment because I'm like, this is too many people are gonna see it. But I'm like, blue check mark, bitch.
So you figured out you had a blue check mark because you commented on somebody else's thing and then saw it on next to your comment.
Yeah.
That's a crazy way to find out. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what? It was cool. I'm working on that TikTok one though.
Yeah.
Keep getting deleted.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be on TikTok here in a little bit when this comes out. I promise you.
It'll get deleted
No,
online.
it will not. Not mine. Not mine. They actually like podcasts a lot. As long as you don't show they just don't like butts. TikTok does not like butts. That is the thing about it. Like you show butts and then it's just gone. All right. So you got that. That must have been pretty amazing. And then now from this point on, you mentioned about losing TikToks and losing Instagrams. What have you seen as far as when you started on Instagram to now, as far as like the changes in terms of service? Do you know when you're going to lose something? How do you get it back? What has it been like for you for the last couple of years?
So in the beginning, I don't think they had a really good computer algorithm yet that like sensed stuff, and so it would be really harder to like get it back, but it'd be like easier to lose your account back then for sure. But there was like a lot of stuff that was allowed that one day wasn't. Like one day like censored nudity or like implied nudity was allowed, and then the next day was like anybody who's got a topless censored photo is going down. So like they go through like waves of like they change the algorithm or the robot system and like just allow certain things and not allow certain things. So back in the day, you used to be able to have plugs that like worked at Instagram.
Yeah.
That you could like figure out and bribe some guy in India most likely like to get it back or something. A lot of times with Instagram, and I still to this day, I think they give a lot of warnings. So when people say they lose their account for good, it's usually for a really good reason now. I think because they give a lot of warnings, they'll do like almost like a minute disable. Like you'll get disabled and you're like, what? I'm disabled? And you'll log back in and they'll be like, oh, like you're sorry, it was an accident. But and you think, oh, it's just a fluke because it was so fast. No, like that was a warning. Take it.
Yeah, if you go in your notifications, there's actually a place in Instagram now where you can actually look at the status of your Instagram.
Like now.
And it will tell you exactly how many violations you have.
And then the next time, like you usually lose your account order, you'll lose it for like a day and you keep appealing, you'll get it back. And then the next time, you'll lose it for like 2 weeks. Now, if you lose it 3 times, you're usually gone. Now, most of the girls, and this is like way back in the day, now most of the people now, they give so many warnings. They have an appeal process now, like for posts getting deleted. So like if you're appealing and getting put back, it's kind of hard to get deleted. Now what girls don't know is that now they do go through your DMs. Like, and they're just now put the warning saying that they do, but they have been going through DMs for a while now. And I know this because I have male friends who are whores, and they lose their account and they're like doing nothing but PG-13 stuff, super innocent, but in their DMs they're like escorting, you know? Same thing with girls. Like, so you don't even understand too, like they'll flag, they kind of have robots that be going through stuff and flagging stuff. And even a girl, like if you're selling a shout out in your DMs and you're communicating about money for a service, Instagram's like escorting, and they'll take you down for solicitation.
They will take you down for solicitation.
So you just don't talk. The best way to keep, and people are like, how do you keep it, whatever. I'm like, I don't, like my social media still stays my social media, you know, like I keep it to be social, to be friendly. Like I don't have an OnlyFans link in my bio. I don't have any bios in my link. Like my Instagram is where I show my creative self. It is who I am. Like there's sexy self, but it's part of me being sexy. I'm not selling sex. I'm not communicating money. I barely advertise my OnlyFans on there. Like, so that's what keeps it safe when you're a large target and you have a large audience and a large insights. You just have to be more like, you have to focus, like, and it can't just be like, oh, here's my butt, boobs, boobs, boobs. Like, people don't understand. Like, you go to my page and there's like a really bomb butt video, right? And the next video, they're like, oh, or the next picture, they're like, oh, she's in jeans, and it's got like half the likes, and they're like, why doesn't she like delete that or something? No, that is account security. You know, that is showing that my page is not just ass and tits.
Right.
It's me in Dubai on a 4-wheeler. It's me in jeans running errands. It's me drinking coffee. It's me at the gym in my gym clothes. Like, I keep it. You still just got to remember that you're keeping it a social media, and you can't make it all sex. Save it for the OnlyFans, you know.
There you go. Save it for the OnlyFans. What do you think about right now? Your OnlyFans is probably pretty big. Are you able to? Do you get help with your OnlyFans? Are you with an agency? Like, what is that like?
No, I do it myself.
You do it yourself. Okay,
I love
cool.
it too much.
There we go. All right, there we go. You also flashed a guy in a supermarket. I read a lot of tabloid stuff about you.
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah, I did. I found there are a lot of news articles about you. What, like, do you was this on IG and you took it down? Was you went and flashed some guy in a supermarket?
I probably took it down because I think importance of keeping Instagram security is auditing yourself. Some things that were allowed back then are not allowed the bigger you get, you know?
Yeah.
So this post, I'm like in a supermarket, and I was actually grocery shopping. And I was just like, you know, I wanted to do some like charity work. So I had like my friend hide with a camera, and I was just going past guys that kind of looked lonely and like sad. I think it was like a Saturday night. They're like in the grocery store alone, like, and they look like they work really hard jobs, like, you know, or like construction workers and stuff. And I was like, you know what, they need some titties in their life. And I was like, I definitely maybe could go to jail for this. But I picked a really cool Albertsons near my house. They were chill.
Nice. And it went viral. I saw the video. Several different publications posted that
I know,
video.
it's crazy. It was like lame too. I was like, really? I was like, that's what goes viral? Is me flashing titties? But you know, that's what I said. Charity work, karma, universe. You know, I made those guys, those guys' nights. Sorry, my tongue moved, it slipped.
Okay, awesome. Who are your favorite people to work with in this industry? Even if you don't want to say a favorite, is there a type of favorite? A favorite girl because she looks like me, or she doesn't look like me? Or a favorite photographer because
the thing, like I said, with the one thing I won't go with there do on my OnlyFans, and also keeping my Instagram a social media, is I don't fake shit for clout. I don't do anything sexual I wouldn't do with the cameras turned off for free. Like, if I'm playing around doing a 5-girl orgy in a shower, and filming it, it's because if the camera wasn't there, and OnlyFans, I would still be doing it because they're hot and they're jiggly and squishy, and like, that's a fun Wednesday afternoon. So I only do things. So I don't even collab with girls that I don't feel like an absolute like friend connection, that I actually genuinely like them. Like, so when I'm like working with girls, it's never really like working to me, like, because I don't make it a job. That's why I keep going. That's why I don't lose my passion, is because I keep it myself and my life. So the girls I like collabing with are like the girls that I actually think are like my best friends, right, and also are super hot. So I love Danny Banks is one of my closest friends. I collabs with the most. My fans love me and her together. We have a very similar vibe. We both, our families live in Michigan. We both have lived in Georgia. We both have been strippers. We both have similar body types and kind of vibes and looks, and but still different. Mm-hmm. So that it's nice. And me and her always have fun, and we do cool like cosplays. We did like a cool Poison Ivy Harley Quinn one for Halloween. She's kind of more innocent too in the sex department. So it's like adorable to me. Like, when I do a girl with her, I'm like having to teach her how to make out. And I was like, when is the last time you made out with somebody, Danny? I was like, and she's like, I haven't done that since the 7th grade. And I was like, what are you doing in bed with guys? Like, I don't understand. So I'm having to like teach her how to make up. Right. And then I'm having to teach her, like, one of our collabs, like, we're in the sex store, and I'm having to teach her about vibrators. She never had one. or like didn't know how to use one, and I like help her buy like a good one. I help her buy this one, and we plug it in. I couldn't like get her to leave my bed or my house. She was like obsessed with it. She was like, "Oh my god, this toy!" And I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, where have you been living? In Iraq?"
She's an instructor. There we go. Another one of the pros. She instructs you on things.
So there's
She
some
teaches you
girls.
things.
There's girls that are like extreme, like actual porn stars, and I love like they just take control. I get to just be like a woman and just lay there and get my pussy ate, like awesome. Like they know what they're doing. They're very good at it. And then I like my best friends that are like innocent, and then I get to transfer that knowledge I learned onto them.
Transfer of knowledge, yeah.
I do. That makes me think about like there's one girl that like ate my pussy really good. Courtney. Her IG names are always different. So she's like blonde. She's one of the twins.
Courtney Taylor.
Yeah, I can't remember the last name.
I mean, I don't know how I know that. I don't know how I have any idea about Courtney Taylor and Kimberlina.
Yeah, Kimberlina is her twin sister.
No idea who those people are.
I've had both of them go down on me on my birthday before, and they're very skilled at that, and they're very fun and cute. Who else? Oh, my Miami wifey. Like, she's my Cuban wifey. Like, I literally, like, would have a full-blown marriage relationship with her. Like, we just vibe, and we have, like, a sexual chemistry, like, even off camera. Like, we'll be at the pool, like, eating edibles and ordering, like, food, and we'll be telling, like, the cabana boy, like, close the curtain. Like, we're not filming or nothing. Like, we're just, like, about it. Like, one night, too, we went out to dinner with all my friends. And we come back to the house, and we're the first one there. We don't have the keys. It's late at night. It's hot in Miami. So me and her just start, like, skinny dipping in the pool in the backyard, like, naked, like, making out, like, sharing the same strawberry banana vape. Like, and they're just in the kitchen just watching us. They're like, and there's no cameras. Like, I'm not filming this for OnlyFans. I mean, I have videos with them, though. But, like, there's things that I just do because I like them. And her butt is so squishy, and her pussy is, like, a Barbie, like mine. And she was, like, the first girl I ever scissored. And she's really good at making out and scissoring. So I really like her.
You didn't say who it was.
Ellie Bella.
Oh, okay.
Ellie Bella. She's fire. She got tiny waist, fat ass like me too. What else?
So that's who you like working with.
Oh, I have a classy friend too. She's on the classy end. I don't do like XX content with her because she just only does like topless content. But Bethany Lily April, I met in London. I was eating lunch. I was in London alone. I was getting some cosmetic work done there. And I was eating lunch alone, and she was on this really terrible date next to me with this douchebag. And I was like, I have to save this girl. She kept giving me like save me eyes. So I came and like joined their table and made friends with her and this guy. And then we go to the bathroom. I was like, we got to ditch this guy. Like, we need to hang out. We need to go out. Like, fuck this guy. She's like, yeah, like, I'm down. She's like, thank you for saving me. So we end up getting into this really exclusive, like, rapper party in London. And we get him in because we're bad enough to get a guy in with us. And he's so, like, fanboying. And we hate it there. So we both dip and like leave him there, and he's happy to be left and ditched because he's now in this cool party. And we like go out on the town like all night and like have so much fun. And I ended up making such good friends with her and staying in contact and vibing. The later when I was in Europe, she met up with me in Spain. We stayed together. We go clubbing. We go out in Spain. She just came to the U.S. to see me in Miami, and then I was like, oh, I'll just come home to Vegas. She just stays in Vegas with me. But she's so funny. The first night we're in Spain, we had this like double date with these Spanish guys, and she ends up not liking her date or whatever. We have like a weird night. We come home, we go to bed, and she wakes up and she's looking at me funny. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, what? And she's like, did what I think happened last night happen, or did it not? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, did you like go down on me and like fuck me? And I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, oh, it's just like a really realistic dream.
What?
And I was like, way to tell me my new friend is a lesbian crush on me. I was like, yeah.
That's crazy. All right. I can't top that story. That's nuts. You have any people you don't like working with? Obviously, you don't have to say names, but is there a type of person where you're like, oh, this is not going to work?
I don't like the people that are eager to work with me, but don't really like me as a person.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You know, like there are girls that will talk hella shit about my looks. They'll say I look like Pennywise. And like they'll talk bad about me to other girls, or they'll have beef. One girl, she was like a big model at the time. She's kind of like died off now, but her like boyfriend and her had broke up or whatever. I didn't know her, but I had like seen her man for a little bit, and they got back together, which I totally get that. I'm toxic too, so I get back together with guys, so I get it. And I'm like, I like love, and I'm happy when people get back together and they're in love. Like, it's great. But she kept wanting to, like, she'd be really mad and talk shit about me and, like, have this, like, weird obsession, like, tell makeup artists, hairstylists they can't work with me, or other models they need to block me if they're going to shoot with her. And obviously, like, I find all this stuff, too, by, like, talking to this guy who tells me these things are going on before I even start talking to him. And then, like, even afterwards, I clear the air about the whole, like, man situation. I'm like, you know, when a woman, like, we didn't like each other, like, he really missed you, I really missed my ex, like, it's cool. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she kept wanting to, like, work with me, and I was like, she was like wanting to do like a boy girl with her man and my man, and I was like, yeah, see, like, we're like cool, but like my man don't want to fuck me around your man because your man was just staying at my house, you know, like, we're not that cool. You know, if you don't collab with me, then you're considering yourself as competition and you're my enemy now. And I'm like, well, I can't make my man do shit he don't want to do, so I'm like, I'll collab with you, like, we can do girl. And even then, like, it just wasn't good enough. And then it just kept hearing things and talking about me, but then, like, being fake, wanting to collab, or like wanting me to sign up for under her referral codes for things. And I'm like, girl, you don't like me, like, just be real. And that's, like, I think, like, things like that, like, I think I get to a certain point and I'm like, listen, girl, I was like, you don't fuck with me, I wouldn't fuck with me if I was you. I was like, it's fine. It's just like, you don't gotta be fake about it. Like, let's just not be cool. Like, let's not like this, but like,
yeah,
let's just like not fake shit no more. Like, you don't gotta do the backhanded replies to my story and shit. Like, I was like, we're good. Like, I got like another BBL, and she goes, oh, like, you know what you should do next? You know, you should like get the buccal fat moved out of your face, and you should, like, she's
on social media, she wrote this?
Yeah, like, she's just DMing me, like, I barely know her. She's just telling me surgeries I should get next and stuff. And I'm like, thanks. And she's like, oh, you should get a facelift too. And I was like, yeah, maybe when I'm your age, I will.
Oh, boy. All right, so that wouldn't work. You have any favorite photographers?
Party Like JZL.
Yeah.
It's good. Oscar Picosa.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Raul shoots in Miami.
Yeah.
There are some I really want to work with. There's this one in Miami, Ali Vento, I want to work with. Photo Mills is like a legend. He's like basically retired now. Like, he doesn't like to shoot a lot because he just got so successful. Like, but he was the first photographer in Vegas to shoot me, like, with the waffles and the coffee.
Nice.
Right through Lil Jon and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
I like to shoot myself mostly, though. Like, most of my photos you'll see are, I'm into the lifestyle, keeping it social media, like, in the moment. So a lot of it is my own iPhone timer, clicker, shots. I'm able to get edits faster that way. Right.
Yeah. That's how they'll work. Now, what do you have coming up in the future?
I'm hoping a husband.
Okay, we'll put out the application for that. We looked at the pros and the cons.
I know. I'm really like baby crazy right now.
Okay, baby crazy.
I don't have a man, but like I'm in a place in my life where just I have like a big like I'm like kind of ready to like chill out a little bit. Like, somebody just get me pregnant and fat, please. I want a baby.
There you go. We can't top that. That's incredible.
I'm being real. Like, cool. Like, it'd be great. Like, Warner Brothers, if you want to like cast the Poison Ivy or Jessica Rabbit for something, I'm your girl. But yeah, if not, like, can someone just bring me a husband and a baby?
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll work on that. I'll get that to you by tomorrow. Okay? Sounds good? Mm-hmm. Hey, guys, thank you so much. This is incredible having her out here. She told probably 4 of the most incredible stories that I've ever heard on this show. Like, the level of honesty is incredible. Hey, where can we find you on all the different platforms?
So on Instagram, I'm the_man_Nicole. On TikTok, I'm IG_thought1, which is my license plate as well. On Twitter, the Amanda Nicole. OnlyFans, the Amanda Nicole.
Beautiful, man. Awesome. Guys, make sure you go check her out. If you are not following her, trust me, your favorite athlete or celebrity probably already is, and they're sliding in her DMs right now along with your boyfriend. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Please hit me up on Apple Podcasts. Please hit me up on Spotify. Leave a review. I really, really do appreciate that. This has grown by leaps and bounds. I get hit up by, like I said, by strangers frequently. Just today, like 4 or 5 people came up to me, and I have no idea who they were. And I keep you guys got to let me know, because sometimes I think you guys are going to tell me that I'm double parked or that you're going to punch me in the face for some reason, and then you're like,
I think the same thing.
Yeah.
Every time someone comes up to me, I was like, did I cut you off or something?
And they're like, I'm a big fan of yours.
I know. I actually get like recognized so much now. I'm like, I kind of don't know what to do. Like, I started to realize, like, I might not be able to go to Walmart anymore. Like, I swear, I got recognized in Walmart just grocery shopping like 6 times.
Yeah.
And now I've had to get like an assistant to like help me with Walmart trips.
There you go.
And stuff.
And if your assistant could just bring a husband and a baby, that's all that your assistant would need to do.
I mean, I'll just take a baby right now too. If you got good genetics and you just want to come inside me and like dip, I won't ask for child support.
If you just want,
That's a TikTok.
if you just want to dip. Oh my God. Oh.
Just don't come from child support from me, okay?
Oh God. I was right about this one, 100%. All right, man, we're really happy. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. I was always going to have you on, but we had dinner the other night. I just remembered all these fucking crazy stories. You know some about me that you didn't share. Thank you. And I really appreciate that. Guys, again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. We have got some incredible guests coming up in the next couple of weeks, so please subscribe. About a good number of you are not subscribed yet who watch this podcast, but I really appreciate that. I know your fans are obsessed. We didn't even mention, I did an interview with you at a photo shoot. Got 6 million views on YouTube. You guys can check that out.
I know. There's not like any really YouTube videos of me. So when you Google me, like this one video comes up, and it got 6 million views. I'm like, that's 6 million people were Googling trying to find my porn. That's
that's crazy.
That's how many people.
That's incredible. Well, they'll get all the history of you from this podcast. Hopefully.
Oh, great.
I'm excited to meet all of your fans and for them to ask me all kinds of questions, and then to find out more about all the celebrities that slide in your DMs. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you all next week.